of two Republican lawmakers, as this did pass the House just yesterday. The White House saying that the president will sign that, and as he and the First Lady take part in the picnic that will celebrate America's 249th birthday. The White House fireworks, by the way, set for 9 p.m. Eastern tonight. As for the big beautiful
what up?
Was 218.
The moment as came, guys.
With
big sign of the
Democrat
big
voting no. They were joined by Republican Congressman
Hope y'all having a great 4th of July.
And Brian Fitzpatrick
Happy birthday
of
to
Pennsylvania.
America.
The vote came hours after Democratic House Minority
Happy birthday
Leader
to America. America turned 249 years old
with a record-breaking speech. It was 8 hours and 42
bro,
minutes
just
in
think
length,
about this.
beating Kevin McCarthy's previous speech from years ago by about 10
at the White House.
Prior to moving to the House,
4th.
Senate Republicans did have a tougher time passing that measure, with Vice
holding
President J.D. Vance having to cast the tie-breaking vote. 3 Republican senators voted no, and those were Senators Rand Paul of Kentucky, Tom Tillis of North Carolina, and Susan Collins of Maine. President Trump had said weeks ago that he wanted this passed and on his desk by today, as the nation, of course, does celebrate its 249th birthday. The bill itself does include some $4 trillion in tax cuts, which would make permanent President Trump's 2017 rates. Without this, those cuts would have expired at the end of the year. It also adds the new ones that he campaigned on, and that includes no taxes on tips. The package would roll back billions of dollars in green energy tax credits. Democrats warning that this would wipe out wind and solar investments nationwide, and it would impose $1.2 trillion in cuts, largely to Medicaid and food stamps, by imposing work requirements, making sign-up eligibility more stringent, and charging federal reimbursements to the states. Additionally, the bill would provide a $350 billion infusion for border and national security, including for deportations, and some of that would be paid for with new fees that are charged to immigrants. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office reports that if the bill did become law, it would increase the deficit by nearly $3.3 trillion over the next decade, and it also states this would cut health care to an estimated 11 million people. However, several Republican congressmen that we've had on this different station over the past, I would say, several days have said they do not believe that is the case. Again, you are taking a live look here outside the White House as folks are gathered for the signing of the big, beautiful bill. It's not clear if this will happen on time. It is slated for 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, and actually right now, it appears that it is 5:01 Eastern, but everyone's still kind of getting into place. You can see several Trump administration officials that are walking to their spots, so it does look like this will start in just a little bit. In the meantime, I do want to take you out to a report here from Rebecca Castor as she has more on the impacts of the big, beautiful bill on travel.
Millions of Americans are hitting the road for what could be a record-breaking weekend for travel.
Traffic is heavy at some spots, but not really too unusual.
But safety is top of mind for many flying to their destinations after months of near misses and outages at airports.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214.
The big, beautiful bill passed by Congress this week could ease some of those fears. It sets aside $12.5 billion to modernize the country's air traffic control system, one of President Trump's biggest policy priorities.
Big, beautiful bill.
Some congested areas, you saw what happened with the helicopter and the plane and a lot of other things. If we had,
I will say about the no tax on
overtime, it was all set up to go.
You won't see that on your weekly check.
Increased after an American Airlines jet collided with a military helicopter in January. Then in April, equipment failures caused widespread flight disruptions at Newark Liberty International Airport in New Jersey. But the legislation is not expected to fund a complete overhaul.
You got kids.
And some industry groups estimate that could cost more than $30 billion.
We need additional money to actually fix the older equipment. This is a brand new state-of-the-art
I think the standard deduction.
It's going to take 3 to 4 years.
So
but
y'all see,
we have to get started now.
The FAA is already making upgrades. On Thursday, the agency said it installed a new fiber optic network that will improve communications between New York and Philadelphia. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Don't expect it.
Rebecca, thank you so much. And that is just one aspect, of course, of that 940-page big, beautiful bill that did pass the House yesterday after passing the Senate earlier in the week. President
Kind of
Trump
like a
is going to
stimulus check.
sign that into law
Matter
right
of fact,
here in
that's what
front
I'm
of
gonna
us,
start
likely
calling
going to
it.
give some comments as well,
Stimulus
as there
check.
is a microphone there. All of this
So, you
corresponding
got
not just with the 4th of
at the
July,
beginning of
but
the
also
year,
the
which will be
5 p.m.
2026,
Eastern Time picnic for
when you file
military
your taxes
families
for
that he is going to
2026,
host alongside
you will be
First
able
Lady
to
Melania Trump. Again, final
claim your
preparations here
overtime
are getting
hours
underway, as we
up
do have
to
several cameras in that
12,500.
location showing you just how many
So
people
if you
have
work a lot of
gathered there
overtime,
outside of the White House for
be
this
prepared for that
event.
big
Again,
income
it should
tax check.
begin any moment now,
Plus
and we
the
are going to bring it to
increase
you in
if you
full,
got small
live, and
kids going up to
uninterrupted
2,200,
on Live Now from Fox. Now, we also
which is
have this
great.
post
I
that
mean,
just came in from the White
a lot of
House. Take a look at
people
your screen as they posted that photo
are complaining
on the
about it,
left-hand
right?
side of your
Because
screen, saying, on
don't
this
get me wrong,
Independence Day, we honor the
the
courage
real
of our founding
benefits are gonna
fathers, the
go to the
patriots
people,
who forged our freedom,
you know,
and
the
the
wealthy,
heroes who
the
have
rich.
defended it for
Those
249
tax
years.
breaks
Under
for the
President
rich
Trump, the American spirit is back, bold,
are
proud,
permanent,
and free.
but the
Happy 4th of
overtime
July from the White House. Again, that is a post
is
here
not
on
permanent.
X with that
No tax on
image
overtime
saying
that's
Happy
not
4th of
permanent.
July, Independence Day, and a photo of
So it
President
fades
Trump.
out over
And
the
speaking of
years.
President Trump, we are
So
waiting on
everybody got
his
to keep that in
arrival. It
mind.
should be just about any minute. But I
So just
also want
look
to
at
remind
it
you that
as
this is just
the
part
next
of the
3
celebration that we are
years.
going to have here on Live Now from Fox
Yeah, the next 3
as the night
years,
does
you'll be
progress,
getting
because
the
we have
income
4th of
tax
July
check.
fireworks
I
starting
mean, not an
at
income
8
tax check,
p.m.
a
Eastern
stimulus
Time
check.
as the sun goes down on the East
So
Coast, all the way
2026
through midnight,
will be your
possibly
biggest
even
stimulus
later,
check
as we
if
see
you
those
work
fireworks
overtime.
celebrations from the East
That'll
Coast
be
over
your
to the
biggest
West Coast.
stimulus check.
Mike Page and
In
Austin Westfall will
2027,
be in the hot seats
it'll
with
go
everything
down.
you need to
And
know,
in
bringing you
2028,
all of
it'll
these
go
different
down even
celebrations
further
here
because
throughout
it fades
the
out
night.
over the
For now,
years.
as we do await the arrival of President Donald Trump, we are going to head to a quick
So
2-minute
if you
break,
know you're
but
gonna be working
a lot more
overtime,
live news coming up
you
here
gotta look
in
into
just a
that.
few. You're watching Live Now from Fox.
I'm retired,
We'll be right
right?
back.
So
Our
time you gotta
military
look at it.
families as we come
What
together in
other
gratitude
president
and
has really
in
did
joy.
this?
Again, that is a
Like
post here from First Lady Melania
a
Trump
deduction for
as
your
we wait for her
overtime.
arrival and the
Like who really
arrival
did?
of President
Who
Donald
did
Trump.
that before?
As we
Nobody.
wait for that to get underway, I do want to take you to a press conference, lay that
If
out
you have a
for you, but we'll keep a
newborn
live image up from
in the
the
year
White House.
between
And the second we see
2025
the president walk out, we will
and
bring that to you
2028,
in full.
you will get
$1,000
$1,000
fireworks, and
for
it's
investing
interesting that
in an investment account.
the rules vary
So
across the
there's some
region.
things in there
It's simple
that
for us
if
here
you
in
know
Montgomery
if
County and
you
Prince
poor,
George's County. All
you
fireworks
can work your
are
jelly
illegal,
and
but we
wind
want
up
to be
in
able
a
to
whole better
demonstrate to you
position
today how dangerous fireworks
by the
are,
time
and we want
this
to encourage
presidency
people
is
to go
over.
to a public display.
You got to
of
work your
fireworks.
jelly, right?
Fireworks
You
are
got to work
dangerous.
it. In other
Leave
words,
them to
you got
the
to spend
professionals.
less, right? You
Using
got
and
to buckle
possessing
down and be
fireworks
like,
in D.C., Maryland, and
for the
Virginia
next 3 or 4
is
years,
typically a
we're
misdemeanor
gonna really
offense.
stay
We have
focused,
fines associated with that, $1,000 or $2,000.
right? Because you know a lot of people, complain
We're not
about
talking about fines and
uh,
we just want
how the
people to be
rich getting
safe.
all the tax breaks.
Fire
Well,
departments are members of the
what you
Metropolitan
can do
Washington Council of Governments, Fire
is stop
Chiefs
spending all your money with them.
Committee.
Keep your money.
COG is an
Right?
association of
Keep
24
your
local
money.
governments throughout the
You know, the
Council of
tax
Governments.
breaks are
Fire
really going
officials
to
train, communicate,
Jeff Bezos,
coordinate and improve
Mark
public safety
Zuckerberg,
and respond to
guys that
emergencies.
own Amazon. Shout
That's
out
what
to
they do.
Amazon.
Today, on behalf of COG's Fire Chiefs
Guy,
Committee,
Uber,
you'll hear from these chiefs here
DoorDash,
messages about
on and on and on.
from officials from
Then the best
DC,
thing to
the
do,
District of Columbia,
you know what?
Virginia, and of course Maryland.
I'm not gonna
And
spend
we can answer any questions if there are any.
all my
Then we'll
money with
hold a
McDonald's,
live fire demonstration,
Chick-fil-A,
provided
whatever
some
the case may
visuals
be.
of the dangers of
You
fireworks.
just gotta get it, okay? I understand that they're getting, big time tax
pose.
breaks. That's
Thanks again for
that is
attending these important
they
messages.
tax breaks are not temporary.
The demonstration will be
They
conducted
tax
by
breaks are
members of the
permanent.
Montgomery County Fire Rescue.
So that's one thing we gotta understand. That should motivate you
And
to spend less and make proper investment.
I'd like to
Instead
introduce the
of
first speaker.
being a customer to
Call
those
up Fire Chief
billionaires,
Corey Smedley from Montgomery
invest in
County.
their companies. Right? That's
afternoon,
how
everybody.
you
First to the media, thank
That's
you
how
for being
you
here
offset
today to help
that.
us get
You
our
make
message
these 4
out.
years your best.
Council of Governments,
Like
we
I
really
said at the end of
appreciate you bringing
2024.
the region together.
Time to get rocking and rolling.
It literally takes us all
It's time
to
to
keep
be
our community
stingy.
safe. And part of doing
you'll
that
look-
is having the
you'll
relationships
come out a
we
whole
do,
lot better
and we gain a lot of that through the Council
after this
of Governments.
presidency
So I
is
just wanted
over
to
with.
state that.
The time to stack.
We know the 4th of July is coming.
Right now.
And we want to remind people in Montgomery County and
don't look at the negative things.
Jurisdiction, Prince George's
Look
County,
at the positive
all
things
fireworks are
that
illegal.
can take you and your family to the next level.
They're illegal for
and
good reasons. Sparklers can burn over 1,200
whole
degrees,
trajectory of
hot
your
enough
family
to melt metal.
in a couple of years.
They're dangerous. They cause fires, serious injuries, and put lives at risk. Not only our neighbors, ourselves, but our first responders as well. So please help us keep our first responders safe and go to places where there are public
take care of your business
events that allow you to safely watch fireworks by professionals. Last year alone in Montgomery County, we've had several fires. One fire last year destroyed the entire home. What we see with our injuries with fires are extremities, your hands, your head, your eyes, your lungs. Those are the basic type of injuries that we see. And today we will, as Pete talked about, we'll get a demonstration from our bomb squad in Montgomery County to demonstrate some of those horrific challenges that we see with improper use of fireworks. Let us celebrate responsibly. There are many avenues. You can go to the website. The District of Columbia has the largest venue in this region. But there are many of our jurisdictions that offer fireworks demonstrations that can be safe. So please, if you don't hear anything else,
they didn't just start doing that.
Have a prevention state of mind and leave it to the professionals to
they've been
deal
doing
with our
that.
fireworks in this region.
So I mean, if you come to a country, basically sneak into the country,
you know, and to the chief's point,
what can you expect?
July is a busy time for all of us here.
But if you come over here legally,
and hundreds of calls.
I know a lot of people that came over here illegal, and I know a lot of people that came over here legally. I'm deep down south. I'm deep down south in Texas.
Represented here, the call volume triples on the 4th of July.
I know people on both sides.
Explosions. Most of those are preventable.
But if you think about it,
now I'd like
what
to call
country in this world
Assistant Chief
would let somebody just sneak in?
Prince George's County. Chief?
Nobody operates like that. Nobody. So if I want to sneak into, let's give an example. If I want to sneak into Africa, right? Which they'll never let me do that. I can't just get on the plane, fly to Africa, and just walk in. They're not going to let me do that. So in some way I get to Africa and find a way to get in, and I start building a family in the back of my mind. I have to know that sooner or later
violating the law, up to $1,000
it's going to come bite me in my ass.
And 6 months in jail.
You got to know that if you break the law,
in 2023,
right? Like as an example,
turned deadly for a young man.
I know it's against the law
you don't want to see that type of tragedy repeated.
Right?
Transporting fireworks from other states.
I know it's against the law to steal.
Even if they're legal where you bought them.
Coming to a country illegal,
if you see fireworks
sneaking into another country is a federal case.
Or sold in your
crime.
neighborhood, please call the police.
See, a lot of people overlook that part. When you come into another country and you get over here, you're breaking the law, bro. That's just like walking in a store.
Professional show.
Or walking to a better example would be if I go to the nearest car lot. I know that it's against the law to steal this car, but I go over there and steal the car, get away with it, and I got the car for 8, 9, 10, 11, 15 years. In the back of my mind, bro, I know I broke the law. Right?
Now I'd like to call up
you know you're breaking the law. Before you come over here, you know you're breaking the law. Those people know that it's illegal to come over here without proper paperwork, without the proper steps.
Good afternoon.
They know it's illegal. So if I come over, if I go to Africa illegal and build a family,
as we gear up to celebrate
I should know eventually,
Independence
bro.
Day,
Something gonna
I want to urge everyone to prioritize safety first when it comes to fireworks.
I know something going. Eventually,
all right, we do have President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump.
That one of these days, coming over here illegal, it's not gonna come back and bite me. That means I'm not thinking properly, bro. That's what that means. All right, let's go. We're not all migrants to this country. We're not. We're all immigrants, but not migrants. Legal immigrants and illegal is two different things, bro. It's different. Most people come over here legally. Paperwork. Going through the steps to be over here. You just don't come across the border, bro, and don't tell nobody nothing. It don't work like that. And some of these
Ladies and gentlemen,
people that come over
Master
here,
Gunnery Sergeant Kevin Veneer, accompanied by the President's own United States Marine Band, will now honor America with the singing of our national anthem, followed by a flyover consisting of a B-2 Spirit bomber from Whiteman Air Force Base, escorted by 2 F-35 fighters, in honor of all our military personnel who participated in Operation Midnight Hammer and who are currently serving both home and abroad, protecting our nation's freedom.
But it's temporary. Some of the people, you know, but it's temporary citizenship. It's not permanent. So if you over here temporary, and the government can say, well, you know what, it's time for you to go. Well, I mean, it's legal. You over here temporary. That's how it works.
At the twilight's last gleams, the stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the rampart we marched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land?
Slaves didn't come over here illegal. They didn't sneak in the country. They were brought over here. There's a difference. They were brought over here. There's a difference between sneaking in the country and being brought over here. It's a difference. It's a difference, bro. Trump ain't the first one that's been deporting people. He's not. Obama deported a lot of people. They've been deporting. They've been deporting illegals ever since I was in high school, bro. They've been deporting illegals. They ain't just started that right now. They've been doing it. That ain't nothing new. Y'all gotta understand that. They deporting illegals has not just started. They've been doing it. And America can't go in no other country illegal, bro. Stop it. It is against the law to come to this country illegal. What part of that?
Ladies and gentlemen, the
people don't understand
of the
it's
United
illegal,
States
bro.
and
It
First
ain't my
Lady
law.
Melania Trump.
It's their law.
Well, thank you very much, and
that's right. Do it the right way.
After what happened just a week ago, when you look at that big,
I know a lot of
Latinos,
Latinos, Hispanics, Africans,
something. It was
Asians,
an incredible mission.
Chinese,
and I can say
Russians.
very proudly, and I don't have to
I know
quote
a lot
the
of
polls,
them that
that
came over here
our country is
legally.
more proud right now than it's been in
America is built
many
on
years. We have
a
pride,
diverse
we have
of
dignity, we
nationalities,
have
bro.
something that's
You gotta
happened
come over here legally.
miraculously so fast. You know that our military now is the most sought after job there's ever been, serving in our military. 1 year ago, people didn't want to join our military. They didn't want to join our police, our firefighters. They didn't want to join anything having to do with our country. And now, as you probably know, the enlistment is at an all-time record. We're packed. We're full. And I just think that's so important because that was so sad 1 year ago when I heard those statistics. We had a different president, but nobody wanted to join, and now we're at a record. And I will say that I just left NATO, where we had a tremendous experience. They've agreed to put up over $1 trillion a year. They went from less than 2% to 5%, and nobody thought that was possible. And they told me very strongly, the leaders of a big part of the world, very respected people all, they told me that, 1 year ago your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So that's the way it is, and that's the way we like it. And it's only going to get hotter, I promise you that. After that spectacular display of American power, let me just say that God bless the United States military, and God bless the USA. God bless the USA. And to all Americans, I want to wish you a very happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. This is going to be something special. This spirit in this country, we haven't seen anything like it in many, many years, in decades. Let me also express our gratitude to our magnificent First Lady. She worked very hard to make this all work. And we have a fireworks display about 9 o'clock tonight. I hope you're all going to be around and watch it. I know our congressmen and our senators who are standing right here, so many of them, they did such a great job. They're going to be here. I guarantee you, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. Thanks as well to the National Park Service, the USO, and countless friends and distinguished guests. We have so many people in the audience that have so much to do with the success of our country. We've, I think, had probably the most successful almost 6 months as a president and the presidency. I think they're saying it was the best 6 months, and I know for a fact they're saying the last 2 weeks there has never been anything like it as far as winning, winning, winning. So as you know, 2 weeks ago, our incredible Air Force pilots conducted one of the most successful military strikes in all of history.
The only First Lady you never see beside her man.
Midnight
Yeah, you're
Hammer,
right. That's a
that's
fact.
exactly what it was. It was a hammer.
Before he
This
became
evening,
the
we're
president
honored
again,
to be
you never seen
joined by
her.
150
She was
airmen
hiding.
and their families
Now you
from
see her
Whiteman Air
again.
Force Base in Missouri, home of the B-2 bomber.
Valentine, hello, how you doing?
And we've kept them a little bit
1,500 more on the standard
guard.
deduction.
We kept them a little bit, let's be a little bit quiet about it. But if you want to raise your hand very quickly, raise your hand, because you people are just incredible. They don't want to be in disguise. They say, we don't have to do that. They're looking at us like we're a bunch of babies. We don't have to be in disguise. We saw all those hands go up. Thank you very much. We owe you everything. Great job. Incredible. Just flawless. One of the most flawless military campaigns in the history of our country. If you remember years ago, they had helicopters crashing into each other. It was a disaster, the hostages in Iran. And we had just the opposite. We didn't have any crashes. We didn't lose any planes. We didn't lose anybody. Those beautiful planes that you saw were totally stealth. They flew right over the center of a very hostile country, and they never even saw it
Small
coming.
businesses get the
And
write
then
off
they
first.
said, skedaddle.
20%.
They dropped the bombs. They said, skedaddle. And that big sucker turned
net
over
profit.
like this on its side, and it got out of there. Well, I'll tell you what, how they do that.
Thanks for letting us know that,
they can do
Floyd.
it. I asked our
I
great
didn't know
General
that.
Kane,
That's great.
how do they do that? Do they really
The
love
small
doing that?
businesses
Look
get
at
the
them, they're
write
all
off
laughing.
20%.
And they said, do they really like doing it, sir? They can't wait. Better you than me. That's all I can say. It was a flawless mission. Every single bomb hit, and it was total obliteration. Total obliteration. Now, even the fake news is admitting that. They hated to admit it, but they had no choice. That was an incredible thing, and these heroic pilots showed our enemies what it means to fly, fight, and win. To every service member who supported that mission, and we have many of them here, we've made we've made you proud by supporting, but you've made us even prouder by having the courage to get in those gorgeous machines and fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world.
Lord D,
and we salute fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world. And we salute you and we honor you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And we're also honored and delighted to be joined by hundreds of service members and military families. Those families are the best we have, from all across the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. I love the Space Force. You know why? Because we're the ones that did it. It turned out to be a very invaluable force, actually. The Coast Guard and the Marines are incredible people. On behalf of our entire nation, this 4th of July, we thank you for keeping America safe, strong, sovereign, and free. Thank you very much for being here. Great honor. And stick around for the fireworks. And our country's had so much to celebrate this Independence Day. As we enter our 249th year, America is winning, winning, winning like never before. We're
all right, goodbye, Diego. Have a good day, bro. Appreciate you for coming.
Where we've wanted to be for a long time. We suffered with 4 horrible years of embarrassment. Afghanistan may be the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We're never going to let a thing like that happen again. Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes. Almost $15 trillion. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything even close. The stock market's at an all-time high. Jobs are at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high. And we're going to keep it that way. We have the greatest country in the world, and we're back. We're back like nobody thought possible this quickly. I thought it would take maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. And we did it in less than 6 months. We are back and strong. We've restored American strength and deterrence on the world stage. We're respected again. The world is respecting us again. When we did NATO, those leaders came up to me and they said, you know what, we're going to go to a new level of spending because you're requesting it, sir. They didn't talk to you last president like that, I can tell you. They didn't spend any money. They didn't spend anything. In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet, when I signed the one big, beautiful bill. And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that, because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military and civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them. When we were doing it, John Thune and Mike Johnson right there, I see Mike, what a job they've done. What a job they've done. But you know, it was supposed to be in 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different bills. And I was on one of the fake news shows and I said, let's do it in one beautiful, big, we want one big, beautiful bill. I said that to this newscaster, and I think a lot of the congressmen and senators were watching, and they said, let's name the bill that, the one big, beautiful bill. And that's what we did, and what we've done is put everything into one bill. It's never happened before. It's the biggest bill of its type in history. We've never had anything like that before. Nothing like that they thought would be possible to get passed. And actually, I liked it because we had so much in there that no matter who you are, there was something in that bill that would make your congressman or your senator or your congresswoman, much more importantly, raise their hand and support, right, Lisa? So that was something, and it was really something special. So the American people gave us a historic mandate in November. We won everything. We won the swing states, all 7 swing states. We won every one. That rarely happens. We won the popular vote. We won the districts, 2,750 to 505. That's why when you look at a map, it's all red, a little blue on each end, but it's all red. And by the way, red means Republican, just in case. But we made promises, and it's really promises made, promises kept, and we've kept them. This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy. They're happy. And I listened to a broadcast, and I read a couple of articles. They have the Democrats, they should have voted for it. They didn't vote for tax cuts. They didn't vote for taking care of people. They didn't vote, not one vote. And we knew that because their hatred of either the country or me or both is so great. They didn't vote at all, and it's terrible. But I just have to say, they have a routine. It's terrible, they say. Terrible, terrible. You saw that guy standing up for hours yesterday. He didn't know what he was even doing there. I say, when's he sitting down? He had a towel. He's wiping his face. That's not too elegant. But what is he? I said, what is he doing for so long? And he couldn't criticize the bill. He was criticizing everyone else and everything else. So they've developed, and this is according to the news media, they've developed a standard line, and we can't let them get away with it. Oh, it's dangerous.
Hello, Terry.
Everybody's going to die. It's actually just the opposite. Everybody's going to live. This is just the opposite. And I just want you to know, if you see anything negative put out by Democrats, it's all a con job. And they said, and they compared it to just like the con job of Russia, 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 and all of the other things they did. The 51 intelligence agents said, and the laptop from hell, it came from Russia, they said. No, it didn't come. A lot of things come from Russia. That didn't come from Russia. And it was all proven out to be a fake job, and that's what they're doing with this. So we just have to look forward, fellas, look forward and just say what it is, because it's the most popular bill ever signed in the history of our country. Whether you're military or anybody else, this is the most popular bill ever signed. And it includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut, $1.7 trillion. And yet you won't even notice it. Just waste, fraud, and abuse in American history. So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security investment in American history. We want to have strong borders. And the only thing is, we want to have great elections, too. You need strong borders and elections. And my people have promised me that we're going to go into elections, and we're going to make sure they're not rigged, that they're not sullied. We're going to make sure that the elections are going to be fair. You need 2 things. You need strong borders, and you need fair elections. And we're going to make sure on the elections also. And our armed forces are one of the most vital military modernizations of all time. It will take place. So we rebuilt our military in our first term. And now we're going to modernize and remodernize our military, including building a great golden dome all over our land, so that if they get nasty with us, it's going to be knocked down. It's going to make any of the golden domes, they call them the iron domes, we're calling ours the golden dome, because we did the iron domes, and we do sort of everything, if you want to know the truth, but this blows it away. We're going to keep you safe. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and many of them are here, and I'm not going to mention all their names because we'll be standing here, but I have to mention a few. And especially I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's been incredible. We have somebody that it was a passion. I think he actually loved it. It wasn't easy, but he loved it. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's right here. Speaker, thank you very much. What a job, and he worked so closely with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's a fantastic guy. And those two are a team that is not going to be beat. When you look at them and you look at their counterparts on the other side, it's not even close. I want to thank both of you people for doing an incredible job. Thank you very much, John and Mike. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a brave man. Steve, you know, he suffered a tragedy a number of years ago. I was at his hospital bedside that night with Melania, with our First Lady, and he had no chance. The doctor said he has very little chance, and you look better today than you did then. He didn't look particularly good that night, I will say. But I learned one thing, his beautiful wife loved him. She was a disaster, right? I told him, I said, Steve, I can only tell you one thing. I was with your family and I was with your wife, and your wife was devastated. She loves you. I've seen a lot of wives that, you know, they don't seem to be so concerned in those situations. That's the kind of wife you don't want. But you have a great, beautiful wife who was really there, and you really have done. You're a very brave guy, and Mike and John and everybody that's standing with you knows it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. House Majority Whip, this is a guy who's great. When I have a problem, I call him up, and he gets it done. He's a tough cookie. I don't know why he's not the governor of Minnesota. He comes from Minnesota. He's like, oh, look, he goes, no, I don't want to run for governor. You know, come to think of it, I think that's a good idea. You would win so easily. The guy is terrible. You would win. You just have to take a look at that handsome face of yours, and you'd win. Tom Emmer, everybody. He did a great job. I think you should consider that, although we don't want to lose him, do we? We don't want to. Let's say we are. I think say we are. What a job you did. And Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso, who's incredible. Senate Finance Chairman Mike Crapo. Thank you, Mike. What a job. What a job. He knows that tax stuff. Him and Jason, they really know their stuff. Senate Budget Committee Chairman Lindsey Graham. What a good man he is. I see a poll, he's running, and I see a poll, he's 24 points up. That's not bad, Lindsey. That's not bad. 24 points up in the great state of South Carolina. House Ways and Means Chairman Jason Smith. What a job. Thank you, Jason. Thank you. These people are great. These are great patriots. I have to call them out. House Budget Committee Chairman Jody Arrington. Jody, thank you very much. Jody has been good right from the beginning, and so many others, and they're all here, and they fully understand. They'll never speak to me again, but that's okay. It is what it is, but I just want to thank everybody. A lot of senators here, a lot of congressmen and women here. Lisa, thank you very much, by the way. I have to thank you. Thank you very much. You've been fantastic. So this bill will fuel massive economic growth and lift up the hardworking citizens who make this country run. The factory workers, farmers, mechanics, waiters, waitresses, police officers, firefighters, coal miners. Coal is back. Beautiful. I said you can't use the word coal unless you precede it by saying clean, beautiful coal. China's right now building 68 coal generating plants, and we're putting up wind. It doesn't work, I will tell you. Aside from ruining our fields and our valleys and killing all the birds and being very weak and very expensive, all made in China. I noticed something, that with all of the windmills that China sends us, where we waste our money because it's the most expensive energy, I see that, they make about 95% of them, the wind turbines. I have never seen
a
wind farm in China. Why is that? Somebody check that out. Tom Emmer, would you please check that out? But all the coal miners we love and the truck drivers, in this act, we have officially made the Trump tax cuts permanent. That's the largest tax cut in the history of our country, added to substantial other cuts, which is you're going to see like a rocket ship. We're setting all sorts of economic records right now, and that's before this kicks in. After this kicks in, our country is going to be a rocket ship economically, and we've delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And that's why when you hear things like that, this is the most it's the biggest bill of its kind ever done by far. But we are going to have a situation, we are going to have something where people are going to realize the level of success and popularity of this bill. And sort of to close it out, it makes the child tax credit permanent for 40 million American families. And to increase the car affordability, it makes interest on a new car payment. So this had never happened before. You buy a car, you borrow money, you're allowed to deduct for income tax purposes your payment of interest. You're allowed to deduct it. It's never happened before. So run out and buy a car. But I have to tell you, It's only good, Mike, if it's made in America. If it's made in another country, you don't get it. And to protect 2 million family farms and other small businesses, we're eliminating the estate tax or the death tax. So if you want to leave your farm or your small business, but farms are really, they have been devastated, to your children, if you love your children. By the way, if you don't love your children, don't even listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But if you love, would you live? Yes, I think you love your child. This one loves Barron. So I don't know if we're a small business. I think we're not. I'm not sure that we qualify. I'm sorry, darling. But, you know, it was devastating. Farmers, they had to go out and borrow money. And by the way, is that Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi, raise your hand. Thank you, Pam, for being here. Attorney General, she's done an incredible job. So there won't be any, think of this, there won't be any death tax. You're not going to have to go borrow money. Your parents pass away and the farm goes into the bank's hands and gets foreclosed. That's not going to happen. And with 100% expensing for new investments, we're cutting taxes for every manufacturer who builds, expands. And we have expansion at the highest level that we've ever had it. We have hundreds of factories, including car plants and AI. It's coming into our country at levels that we've never seen. And to conclude, not only will we have the strongest economy on earth, we're also going to have the strongest borders on earth. And last month, did you see the number? 0 people crossed our border. 0 illegal people. And that's after Joe Biden let 21 million people, many of them people from gangs and prisons and drug lords and people that were mentally unbalanced. They let them into our country. We're getting them out at record numbers, and we have an obligation to, and we're doing it. So as we approach the 250th anniversary of America's founding exactly 1 year from now, we are creating an economy that delivers wealth for the middle class, a border that is sovereign and secure, and a military that is unmatched, unequaled anywhere in the world. And you saw that. And what a beautiful sight that was, especially after watching what they did just a short while ago. The golden age of America is upon us. We are in the golden age. It's going to be a period of time, the likes of which I don't think this country has ever experienced before. We're going to make America great again, and it's happening very fast. We love you. We thank you for being here. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. And First Lady, I want to thank you. You have been unbelievable. You think it's easy being First Lady? It's not. Thank you all very much. Happy 4th of July. God bless you all. Thank you very much, everybody. We're going to sign the bill now.
Here we go, guys. He's about to sign this bill. Y'all income tax in February gonna be super fast.
That was a good one. Wow.
Mr. President, this is the gavel we use to enact the big, beautiful bill, and I want you to have that for your family.
Tell you what, if any of y'all don't work, it's time to go get a job. Time to go to work. Start a small business. You know, if you do got a job, start a small business.
President Trump signing his signature bill there right at the White House on this 4th of July as he is surrounded by Republican lawmakers that helped make his vision a reality here. So again, a live look at the White House after he signs the big, beautiful bill. And we will continue our coverage here on Live Now from Fox, of course, a little bit later, just like the president said. 9 p.m. Eastern is when the D.C. fireworks will be going off near the White House. And President Trump will be there alongside the First Lady, and we'll see some of that. But it looks like he's still talking here, so let's listen.
Great. Wonderful. It's going to get better from South Carolina. It's been amazing. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good time. Happy 4th of July.
Happy 4th.
I don't have to tell myself that, Brandon.
Signing this
I'm retired at 50 years old.
Major mega bill at the White House with military families that are joined on the South Lawn there for a picnic, and they are taking in the festivities before the big fireworks show that will be happening a little bit later in Washington, D.C. And of course, we are going to be your destination when it comes to the fireworks spectacular, not only in D.C., but really all across the country, from big cities, small towns. We've got you covered here on Live Now from Fox. Happy 4th of July. I'm your host, Mike Page. Great to be with you. It's an honor to be with you here on this holiday, and we want to get you ready again. 4th of July fireworks spectacular. Our coverage starting today at 8 p.m. Eastern, so just stay right here with us. We will be covering not only parades in the afternoon, but early evening, showcasing some of the big events that have already happened. And we will continue to showcase more live feeds from all over the country as well. So before we go to a 2-minute break, I do want to show you the beautiful flyover that we had at the White House featuring the B-2 bomber. Take a look at this. Very neat to see right there as the B-2 flying right over, flanked by some F-35s there. Great to see as always. All right, we are going to take a 2-minute break here on Live Now from Fox. Stay right here with us. Our 4th of July coverage continues.
No matter if you are with Trump or not, it's something for you in the bill. And that's just how we got to look at it. It's 2025. It's time to build. It's time to build. And I think it's a lot of things.
Everyone, to Live Now from Fox, happy 4th of July to you. I'm your host, Mike Page, as we continue to showcase some great events all across the country. Do want to show you a nice live look here at the Jersey Shore on this 4th of July. You see many people out and about before fireworks celebrations that will be happening in their neighborhoods, wanting to take in all of the sights and sounds that is so important here on our Independence Day. All right, let's go out to Houston a little bit earlier today.
We need to come together.
Having a 4th of July parade. We want to showcase some of that to you here on Live Now from Fox.
Baton twirlers won several state and regional awards under the direction of Coach Sue Young. Made these athletes swirl fun, inspired swirl in high school and college.
Fact check. This bill would not affect your income tax. But what do you call no tax on overtime? Wait. I'm gonna pause. Hold up, guys. Okay, Jocelyn, you've been saying a lot. What is no tax on overtime? Answer that first. What is a deduction on your overtime? What is that? On the child tax credit. What about that? You avoided the question that I asked. I ain't say nothing about tips. I said overtime. No tax on tips. It's people, you go to the restaurants, right? Don't you tip your waitress? You order DoorDash and Uber, right? Don't you tap your DoorDash driver? Don't you tap your Uber Eats driver? Well, if you don't know, Jocelyn, they have to file that on their taxes. That includes overtime. Do you have a job, Jocelyn? No server claims full taxes. Well, if they don't, they don't. But if they getting cash, but if they getting a check, they got to file. They got to file their taxes. If they don't, that's on them. I'm not talking about the people that don't file their taxes, bro. I'm not talking about them. Most people file taxes. I'm an IT director. Do you work overtime? Do you work overtime hours? Or do you get paid salary? No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not only for cash tips. It's not. People don't only get tips by cash in 2025. You know that, right? You order DoorDash, right? And Uber Eats. Well, when you tip your DoorDash driver through the app, it comes on their 1099. Those tips for your DoorDash driver is reported to the federal government. And if you work overtime, you get a tax deduction for those overtime hours when you file your income tax. So if you got a job, you say you're IT director. If you work overtime, you will get a deduction for those overtime hours when you file income tax. You got kids. If you have kids, they have raised the child tax credit. So if you're an IT director, it's something in that bill will benefit you. Well, then, if you make $60,000 and you work overtime, you will get a benefit from the no taxes on your overtime. You'll get a benefit. You'll get a deduction on your overtime. So it does benefit you if you work overtime. It's something in this bill that'll benefit 8 out of 10 of the Americans. I'm retired, Jocelyn. I'm retired. But we're not talking about me. We're talking about you said that no, you won't benefit from overtime from this bill. And that's not true. It's not true. It's something in there for everybody. In 28. I know that. That's why I'm telling people, stack your money. It's something in this bill that could benefit anybody financially. That's the point. It's something in this bill, that could benefit anybody. That's the point. That's the whole point. Eight out of 10 Americans gonna benefit from this bill. That's just the bottom line. If you like Trump or if you don't, still 8 out of 10 people are gonna benefit from that job. This bill will benefit. Yes, we know that already, Jocelyn. I know that it's going to benefit the rich people. I know that already. But I'm not worried about, people don't need to be worried about other people. Worry about yourself. People worry about other people too much. But it's something in this bill that can benefit 8 out of 10 Americans. That's the point. She never said that, Chrissy. That ain't even the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is 8 out of 10 Americans can benefit from something in that bill. That's the conversation. She got kids. She ain't answered the question. She probably got kids. If you got kids, there's a benefit. If you own a business, there's a benefit. If you work, there's a benefit. No matter how you put it, 8 out of 10 Americans can benefit from this bill. You steady talking about tip workers. I'm not talking about tip workers. You still talking about tips, not talking about tips. 8 out of 10 Americans can benefit from the bill. That's the bottom line. Most people on this live can benefit from that bill. Most people that's going to talk down about the bill don't like Trump. That's the bottom line. Most people are in their feelings. I don't care if I don't like him. Guess what? If something that he put out there can benefit me, I'm going to say it benefits me. But most people can benefit from that bill. That's just a fact. Why is Trump deporting people? Manuel, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. So that ain't my fight, bro. I worry about what benefits me. That's how I do this. If it benefits me, I'm with it. I don't care who the president is. I don't care who the president is. If it benefits me and what I got going on, I'm with it. If it would have been Biden, I'd have been rooting for Biden. If it would have been Obama, I'd have been rooting for Obama. If it would have been Clinton, I'd have been rooting for Clinton. If it would have been Harris, I'd have been rooting for Harris. Whatever benefits me and my family, that's what I worry about. No, it don't. It don't benefit me. No, it don't. If it was Obama's bill, I'd be cursing. Bro, I voted for Obama. I voted for Biden. I voted for Joe Biden. I voted for Obama. Y'all stupid, bro. Y'all stupid. And in y'all feelings. I voted for Biden. I voted for Obama. I'm going to say it again. I go with it's going to benefit me. If it benefits me, I'm going with it. See, y'all be in y'all feelings too much. That's what's wrong with y'all. That's what's wrong with majority of these people. They butthurt behind Donald Trump. Yes, I voted for Joe Biden. I voted for Obama. I voted for Clinton. Yes, I did. I vote for what benefits me. I vote for what benefits me. That's what I do. I don't care who the president is. If it benefits me and I like what they putting down, I'm going to roll with it. And that's how y'all supposed to look at it. Stop being so emotional. That's what's wrong with y'all. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all too emotional about Donald Trump. And see, that's what they want. They want everybody arguing. They want everybody disagreeing about what's going on. They want the country divided. That's what they want. They want everybody going against each other. You got your opinion, I got my opinion. I vote for what's going to benefit me. That's exactly what I do. And that's what I look for. Whenever these politicians go to talking, I look for what's going to benefit me. So would you say Trump is emotional when he called other senators names? I don't care, Jocelyn. You're not understanding what I'm telling you. I don't care about that. I care about what's going to benefit me and my family. That's all I care about. I don't care what he called a senator. I don't care what fits he put. I don't care what he do. If he got something, gonna put something out there that's gonna benefit me and my family and my grandkids and my great grandkids, I'm gonna rock with that. I don't care who he cuss out. I don't care what he do. As long as he's doing what I like, I'ma rock with it. Even Biden do what's in the best interest of me, I'm gonna rock with it. Leo, ain't nobody arguing. Ain't nobody arguing. That's what's wrong with you. You stuck in your ways. You emotional. That's what's wrong with you, Leo. Ain't nobody arguing. I'm just telling you how it is. Leo, what make you think I'm getting upset? What make you think I'm getting upset? What make you think I'm getting upset? Answer that, Leo. What make you think I'm getting upset? You don't even know me. They just hate Trump. They don't care if he's doing something to benefit them. Yeah, they don't care. They don't care. That's how it is, though. That's how they got it, though, Jonathan Davis. That's how they got it. They got everybody going against one another. That's how they want it. That's how they want it. They want everybody arguing. If you disagree, you disagree. That's all it is to it. Hakeem Jeffries 2028. Yeah, Hakeem Jeffries 2028. If you know, if he take care of his business. If Hakeem Jeffries run for president and whatever he's talking about doing aligns with what I'm talking about doing, guess what? I will vote for him. I will vote for him. To be honest, our problem started with Ronald Reagan. What problems started with Ronald Reagan? Would you be throwing out Jeffrey's name if you knew he would repeat this new bill? If, I'm going to say it again, I voted for Obama because he aligned with what was best for me. I voted for Biden because I thought his best interest was going to align with mine. So I don't care who it is. If what they got going on align with what I got going on, I'm going to support them. And that's all it is to it. There's a lot of things I don't like about Donald Trump, but a lot of things that he put down, aligned with what I was putting down. So that's why I went that route. And if somebody on the Democrat side came up with something that aligned with what I'm doing, I would go with that route. And if it was Kamala Harris that was the president right now, all these titles on his videos would say Harris. All these titles on these videos y'all see wouldn't say Trump, it would say Harris. Corruption runs deep in both parties. Democrat and Republican, both of them are corrupt. Both of them are dirty. Again, I pay attention to the details. That's going to align with me and my family. That's what I pay attention to. I don't want to see not no hot dog eating
and
contest.
We have nearly a tie. We have Michelle Lesko to my right and Domenica D to my left. One of these eaters had 21.5 hot dogs and buns. The other had 22 3/4. It was that close. But coming in second here today,
I guess we keep it on there for a little
with
bit.
22 3/4 hot dogs and buns.
I really don't like watching
Domenica
hot
D,
dog
her
eating contest.
first contest, first time ever, 21.5. However, in first place for her 11th championship, with 33 Nathan's Famous hot dogs and buns, the great Mickey Sudo. 33 hot dogs and buns, 11 belts. Mickey Sudo, amazing job. Mickey, tell me how you felt out there, a little bit slower out of the gate. What were you thinking?
Yeah, the hot dogs were great. The weather's beautiful. The crowd had me going. I'm thinking maybe the buns were more filling than usual. It's okay. A win's a win. Thank you for the support.
Very gracious. Folks, she only ate 33 hot dogs and buns. Only 33. Our champion, Mickey Sudo.
There you go, Mickey Sudo with 33, making her the women's champion at the Coney Island Hot Dog Eating Contest on this 4th of July. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with much more from around the country when we come back on this Independence Day.
Okay, we got a little Bitcoin pump. We got a little bit ways to go to get up to that 112 on Bitcoin. Let's see. What question you got, Jocelyn? What's your question? What's your question?
Fox, I'm your host, Mike Page. Thanks so much for joining us here on this 4th of July. A live look right now at our nation's capital, where in less than 3 hours from now, there will be major fireworks in the sky. And of course, we will be your destination to really showcase the fireworks show, not only out in Washington, D.C., but also around the country.
You never answered my question.
Towns, we've got you covered here later tonight on this 4th of July.
You never answered my question.
What we're going to do right now is
from the beginning.
We want to see your photos from your July 4th
What's your question?
Festivities. So go ahead right now and let us know how you are celebrating. I know a lot of people are probably, grilling out. Maybe they're having family and friends over. All you have to do is scan that QR code there in the top right, and then you can share your photos with us, and you might see yourself on TV here. So please send them in. I know there's a lot of parties going on and people are getting ready for the fireworks shows that are happening. Maybe you're hosting some firework spectaculars in your own backyard or front yard. So let us know how you're doing on the prepping for that, or if you're having family and friends over. We'd love to see those festivities. And look at this, just like Sam sent in. Hey, Sam, and happy 4th of July from Mississippi. All right. Thanks so much there, Sam, for sending that in. You can continue to join in on the fun here. And we got Nicole sharing our nation's birthday with the best attire. Nicole sending that in. Yeah, look at that with the Live Now in the background. Love that. And here we go, another one, making shirts to wear out to fireworks tonight. Thank you, Haley from Texas. Love to see that, and very, very creative as well. Look at this nice one from Crystal on vacation in Florida, visiting family. Okay, awesome. That is great to see. Happy 4th of July to you guys. Hope you have a great time out in Florida.
And
If you want to
MSNBC
join in on the fun, we'd love to see your photos. Just scan that QR code top right, and we may feature you a little bit later today. We love to see how our viewers are spending their 4th of July. All right, let's keep on going right now. We just showed you Washington, D.C. Let's keep you there, show you some of the action from the parade a little bit earlier today.
Yeah, some people are just stuck on what they stuck on, you know. Are you happy with your decision because taxes, etc.? No, that's not the reason. No, that's not the main reason. That's not the main reason. I read the whole question, Leo. But I know that no tax on overtime benefits a lot of people, especially a lot of people that I know. No tax on overtime benefits a lot of people. No tax on tips benefits a lot of people. The raising of the child tax credit benefits a lot of people that I know. Like I said before, I go by what benefits me and mine. That's what I go by. Only thing I regret is voting for Joe Biden. Now that's what I regret. When Donald Trump was the president in 2016, and I didn't like it like that. You a UFC fan, you're bringing the UFC to the White House next year. Much.
That was just some of the sights and sounds from Washington, D.C. on this 4th of July, and now a live look here. And we are getting you ready for the 4th of July spectacular out in D.C. and other cities across the country, as our special coverage will start here in a little more than an hour. The 4th of July fireworks live on Live Now from Fox starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. We will get you ready for all of the fun and excitement in the air a little bit later tonight. We'll take a 2-minute break. We'll be back with more on Live Now.
Under the new bill, the new tax deduction for tips is limited to cash. 1, received by an employee during the course of employment in an occupation that customarily receives tips. 2, reported by the employee to the employer for purposes of withholding payroll taxes. There it is.
To roll on, keep you out in D.C. Ashley Dvorkin with a preview of tonight's D.C. Spectacular.
Stars are gathering again on the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol to celebrate a Capitol 4th. Alfonso Ribeiro is back as host. It's a role he doesn't take for granted.
The crowd every year has been incredible. There's so much love and support for the show that it makes me just, warm inside. And so I love it. I love this tradition now for me and my family. The whole family comes with me, and we all go to D.C. and get to enjoy this holiday together.
This year's musical lineup includes pop, R&B, classical, and Broadway, all backed by the sounds of the National Symphony Orchestra.
We've got Yolanda Adams, 4-time Grammy Award-winning gospel music legend, Abby Carter, American Idol season 22 winner, Lauren Daigle, another Grammy-winning artist, Low Cash, a country duo, and the Beach Boys. Need not say more, right? The Beach Boys. We've got the Temptations, Motown stars, right? We've got Josh Turner, another country artist. Trombone Shorty will be there also.
Beyond music, the event pays tribute to service, from World War II veterans to the 250th anniversaries of the Army, Navy, and Marines, along with a meaningful salute to first responders.
We're really leaning into it this year, and we're really going to have some fun with them and really, make them feel special about what they do for all of us.
The night wraps with a massive fireworks show lighting up the D.C. skyline.
There's nothing like a great birthday party, and a Capital 4 throws the best one for the 4th of July.
A Capital 4th airs live July 4th on PBS. Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
All right, Ashley, thanks for that great preview. That will be happening later tonight, and you can check out 4th of July Spectacular from Washington, D.C. and other major cities. Oh, right here on Live Now from Fox, our special coverage starting.
Happy 4th of July, George.
So just an hour away. We will get you the preview and then take you out to D.C. and beyond coming up a little bit later. Let's go out now to California, where officials giving
New York Times. A lot of people don't know what they be talking about, bro. Especially in these comment sections. There are people here earlier talking about it's cash only. How? No tax on tips will affect waiters, drivers, and diners. What counts as a tip? In the tax code and in the legislation, the term cash tip applies to tips given in bills, coins, or credit or debit card, or via the business's electronic payment system. But it has not yet been determined whether tips that go directly to a server via Venmo or PayPal would qualify as cash. There you go. So y'all just read the beginning of it when it says cash tips only, but then you don't read the rest of the paragraph. Bro, come on now. That's why it's very important to read through the whole thing. Reading comprehension. This don't read the top of it and then think that's all it is. You got to read through the whole thing to get a clear understanding. It's called reading comprehension. It's called reading comprehension. Let me do it again for the people in the back. Does no tax on tips includes cards? Of course. They have to report that to the IRS. Bro, I'm quite sure those people are gone now. Right here. Wait, what happened? Nah, I don't think they be dumb, bro. I think they just don't pay attention. Like they so quick, they so used to see the internet makes us not really pay attention, right? It shortens your attention span. So if you got a short attention span and you see, let's see, and you see something like, we ain't gonna show it on here. And you see this, right? While the deduction applies to cash tips only, that's the only part they read. They don't read the rest of it. They don't read the rest of it. If you was here earlier, the lady, they were saying that it was, they kept going back. See, I was talking about tax on overtime, and they kept going back to tips. I was talking about not being taxed on overtime, and they kept going back to the tips. But then they're going to say that the tips only apply to cash, which that don't even make any sense. So that means that all they read was this, while the deduction applies to cash tips only. That's all they read. But they didn't read the rest of it, which is the act broadly defines cash tips to include tips that is paid in cash or charged, as well as tips received by an employee under a tip sharing arrangement. The definition includes tips that are non-cash, such as tangible items like a gift basket or a movie ticket. It clearly states that it's also credit cards. You see how somebody could be, because the attention span is so short that you can easily just read this. If you're looking at it, well, wow, the deduction applies to cash tips only. Boom, that's it. Well, that means that cash tips don't apply. That's all they read, because their attention span is so short that you don't read the whole thing. That's why I just changed the subject, bro. I just went on to something else. Because cash tips, how obviously the government knows that nobody's going to report their cash tips, bro. That's common sense. But a lot of tips are tracked by a card. Like when you go to the restaurant, some people don't pay their food with cash. They use a card. So if you want to tip the person, you tip them through your card. That is tracked. That's the easiest way for the IRS to track your tips, bro. It's by card. Of course, they ain't gonna track it if you get paid by cash. Of course, they know you ain't gonna report it. It's common sense. That's what I'm saying. When y'all reading stuff, guys, don't be so closed-minded. They just don't read a little bit of it and then don't read no more. While the deduction applies to cash tips only, you automatically think it means, okay, it's just cash, but you're not reading the rest of it. The act broadly defines cash tips to include tips paid in cash or charged. Simple. I think you was in here, what a shocker. You was in here, right? When the girl was saying that. You was in here, right? That don't make any sense for them to say. See, that's that. I'm gonna say it. That's that Democratic Donald Trump haters. They want Donald Trump to be so bad that they'll basically interpret something as what it's not. That's what it's not. You know what I'm saying? Just for sake, they hate Donald Trump so bad, bro, that they missing the point and they missing the benefits. And what's so cold about it, I wasn't even talking about tax. I wasn't even talking about tips. I was talking about overtime hours. I was talking about not being taxed on overtime hours. She automatically flipped it to the tips. That's why, bro, some of these majority of these Democrats that's really Democrats, you really can't have a real conversation with them, bro. I was really wasting my time. I was really wasting my time, to be honest. See, they think that if you vote for Donald Trump, they automatically think that if you vote for Donald Trump, you automatically a Trump supporter. They automatically think that. So a lot of people that come into my lives, a lot of people that run into my channel, they automatically think I'm a Trump supporter because I be talking about Trump all the time. That don't mean I'm a Trump supporter, bro. That just means that what he's putting down as far as his policies go, I agree with. That's all that means. It could have been Kamala Harris. It could have been Joe Blow around the block. It could have been Bonquisha. It could have been Joe Biden. It could have been Obama. It could have been Clinton. It could have been whoever. If I agree with what they putting down, I'm gonna roll with them. And guess what? Whenever their time is up, who's next? Who's next that's going to put things in place that's going to benefit me? Who's next? But some of these Democrats, bro, these diehard Democrats, you can't tell them shit. You can't. Okay. And then when they realize that, okay, I'm not a diehard Trump supporter, then they try to find a way to wiggle their way out of the corner they put themselves in. They try to wiggle their way out of the corner that they put themselves in. And guess what? I love the conversation because I do this in real life. Yeah, I do this in real life. That's why I had to tell them. I voted for Obama. I voted for Donald Trump. And I was about to vote for Kamala Harris. I benefited from Trump the last presidency. And guess what? I still voted for Biden, bro. After I benefited from Donald Trump's first presidency, well, how did you benefit, Stock Sniper? I benefited from the First Step Act, the Opportunity Zones, which has something to do with real estate. I benefited. But guess what I did? I still voted for Joe Biden. I still voted for Joe Biden, bro. Still voted for Joe Biden. After I knew I was going against the grain. See, that's why voting is very important. You don't vote for who popular. You don't vote for who your homeboys tell you to vote for. You don't vote for who your homegirls tell you to vote for. You don't vote for who the community tell you to vote for. You vote for who's going to benefit you and your family and put you in the best position that's gonna win. That's why it's called voting. That's why it's called voting. You vote for the person and the person who you vote for win is in the best interest of you and your family. That's who you vote for, bro. That's the definition of voting. And then when you vote for people, you got to educate yourself on what's going on. And if the person who you voted for don't win, you got to support the other person the best way as possible. Because you want I want every president to succeed. But see, most of these Democrats, the Democrats these days, they want Trump to not be successful so bad. They don't care that if the president is not successful, we as a country is not successful. And I think they don't care. They don't care. I don't think they really care. I don't think they really care. I really don't. I don't think they really care. It clearly says right here, wow, the deduction applies to cash tips only. The act broadly defines cash tips to include tips paid in cash or charged, as well as tips received by an employee under a tip sharing arrangement, meaning that when you go to the bar or you go to the restaurant and you don't tip with cash and you tip with a card, those waitresses in that restaurant, they break the tips up evenly amongst every last one of them through the system. That's tip sharing arrangement, as well as tips received by an employee under a tip sharing arrangement. This definition excludes tips that are non-cash. The only tips that is not included are tangible items, such as a gift basket, a movie ticket, or a gift card. There you go.
It's a tragic event. It's going to be a mass casualty event. We know that.
Other thing is, they had a bad.
We moved resources into the area.
In Kerrville, Texas.
This is a Texas response. This is not DPS.
Bad
This
flood.
is the Texas Military Department, Texas Department of Public Management. We have Parks and Wildlife. We have every local agency in the area. We're working hand in hand with the Kerr County Sheriff. The San Antonio Police Department, really the San Antonio region. There are many cities and law enforcement agencies and first responders self-deployed. So we have plenty of resources on the ground. Lieutenant Governor mentioned over 500 boots on the ground.
That's why you can't be listening to what everybody says.
Troopers, agents, and rangers on the ground. We have 7 helicopters. We're supported by 5 TMD helicopters and 2 Parks and Wildlife helicopters. We have planned for shifts. We're going to work throughout the night. So
it clearly explains
when we started this at 4 o'clock in the morning, we've been working this all day.
They try to
B shift
change the
that
narrative.
are coming,
You know what I'm saying?
come in and release.
I'm talking about overtime.
Gap in the search and rescue operations.
They changed the narrative
But the governor
talk about
said it
tips.
accurately is
talking about no tips,
there's too many unknowns, and there's information that sometimes it sounds conflicting. You have a report that there's 20 people missing from one camp, and then you have a report that everybody's accounted for. Well, there's two camps that are split with the same name. So we don't want to get in front of that.
Overtime.
It's taking some time to get in there with all the resources we have. As bad as the storm was this morning, our helicopters had a hard time getting in. And so a lot of people that were cut off, they were counted as missing. They don't have self-service or electricity, but they're
tips that are not documented.
So we have gotten to several of these where there's as many as 200 in one location. That don't make any sense for them to say. We're able to bring in food and water and supplies to them.
Nobody reports their cash tips.
It's just taking time to get them out of there. At the same time, there's other camps
they will now,
though, missing, and their search and rescue
they'll do it now because
Parks and Wildlife.
It's no tax on tips.
Their boat teams,
actually,
some of our tactical marine assets.
On tips.
They go as far as they can go, and they go on foot
the no tax
the
on
rest of the way.
tips
So it's not easy.
Better.
But we're making
no
progress
tax on overtime.
and hope to have better numbers later this afternoon. As the Lieutenant Governor said, we'll be on the ground here shortly.
The deduction is capped at $25,000 a year.
Kerrville. I know there's reunification centers stood up. One in Ingram at Elementary School at 125 West.
This amount is
Brave Run in Ingram. There's another one at the Arcadia Live Center on Walter Street in Kerrville. And then there's media staging at the Hill Country Youth Event Center in Kerrville, where there'll be a media press event later on. A couple of things. Lieutenant Governor said we don't need any more first responders. We don't need anybody to self-deploy. We don't need any more drones or helicopters. We don't need people just showing up. This is a very coordinated response. Stay away from the area if you can. Stay home with your families. That's the right thing to do, to stay out of this area. There's working with TxDOT. We know there's over 85 locations that have been impacted by high water, and at least 25 roads shut down. Right now, the rain has let up, but we know there's another wave coming, and then there's going to be some more impact downstream.
That's what they're going to start doing. They're going to start claiming the cash.
Rescue operations and evacuation operations in Tom Green County and Kimball County.
Well, they should have
said San Saba,
no cash tips
downriver, so there will be more notifications coming out. If you're asked to evacuate, please evacuate. So if you are on a roadway and you see water, you have no idea how deep that water is or how swift it is. Stop, turn around. Do not try to cross water if you don't know. You can't tell how deep it is. But the best advice is stay home. And I know y'all want numbers. I wish we had numbers. Those numbers change frequently. Like I said, some people are reporting as missing, and they're not missing.
In other words,
they're safe.
Like the one lady was saying, well, what if she...
Family member is concerned.
It's the way that anybody can benefit.
So with that, Governor, I'll turn it back over to you.
If you work on,
I do want to mention before I turn it over to Pete,
let's say if you work,
I was in touch with the governor early this morning
on a salary, right?
With Senator Ted Cruz,
which I think that's what somebody was saying.
We've been in touch.
What if she worked?
Tried to reach
salary?
out to the sheriff.
Well, then
not tried to reach out to the sheriff and the county judge in Kirk County, and understandably,
deliver business out of thin air.
They're getting a lot of calls from
DoorDash and Uber.
But that's why we're going down there. But we are in touch
when you
between
get off
our
work,
departments. We are in
work
touch
3
with
hours DoorDash.
We've had multiple calls from the White House
Uber,
today. I've talked to several
and then
people at the White House. The president has sent the message whatever we need, we will have. We are sending in the Army Corps of Engineers. It's one of the requests we made.
If you want to get to the money,
the dam at Canyon Lake, to make sure that
if you want to benefit off of the no overtime and the no
meeting with them
no tax on overtime and no tax on overtime tips, you're gonna find a way to get it.
It is safe, sir. I said safe tomorrow.
So the people that the
barbers,
sir.
I said, well, if anything changes on that, you call me on speed dial immediately. But right now, the Army Corps believes that dam will be reported and is safe as we sit here today. We're also expecting more rain and potential flash flooding to the Waco area. San Antonio, Austin, overnight. That would not be.
This is how much I got in tips.
That would be localized flooding where, as the director said, you don't want to be driving in deep water. We could have heavy rain in those areas. But even in the Kerrville area, even if it's not a heavy rain, just a few inches of rain
That's why
is
she
going
couldn't even answer
to only make the
simple
situation
question.
worse. Let me turn it over to Senator Pete Flores, who represents that area, along with
Simple three
House
questions.
member West Verdell,
Got
who
a
reached
job,
out to
yeah.
me earlier
Work
today. I know
overtime.
he's from Brady.
No,
I don't know
you got
if he's
She never did say
waterlocked or
yes
not,
or
'cause some of
no.
those roads are cut off. But
Because if you got kids,
we appreciate him
it
reaching
benefits
out.
you if you
Senator
got kids
Flores.
too.
Thank you, Governor.
Why?
Thank you for allowing me to
Because
be here. And thank you all for being here.
the child tax credit,
the
they
first
bumped
comment
it up.
is prayers for our affected Texans and to make sure that that they come out of this event with their lives. And for the first responders that are out there, especially the local ones who were there first, we want to always recognize that
It's
they
something in that bill
mostly
everybody.
voluntarily step up for their fellow citizens.
That's just what it is.
And they're the first ones there and the last ones to leave. My role is to work with the governor and work with the state agencies to make sure that our affected areas get what they need. And thank God we are in Texas.
Instead of coming in and saying,
because Texas is
nobody's
well
going to
prepared
benefit
to do
from
this.
the bill.
My previous
That's what she kept saying.
life was as a
Nobody's
game warden.
going to benefit from the
as
bill.
a Colonel Game
Bro,
Warden, I've responded to many of these
what is
emergencies
no tax on overtime?
over the years and hurricanes and know
What is the increase on
what's happening and what's fixing to
child
happen.
tax credit?
It's basically we're in the search and rescue part.
Yeah, right there.
That's what's most important, and for all of us to remember is that this first 24
Well,
to 48
I don't work
hours of search
overtime.
and rescue and saving as
Well,
many
shoot, if you
lives
want
as
the
we
extra
can
money,
and recovering as much of our fellow
you gonna
Texans
do the easiest thing,
that we can.
which is what, Stop Sniper?
And so as we do that, we thank you
Create
very
a
much for
delivery
your
business out of
support
thin air.
of our
start
first
working
responders
DoorDash and Uber on the
that are
side.
out in the field at this
If it ain't
moment
number
as we
2
speak.
hours a day
And,
or 3
and
hours
we
a day,
will
there you
continue to move forward to ensure that the most successful outcome that we can possibly do happens. And
That's the
again, thank
easiest
God
way.
we're in Texas because that makes it more probable.
A website, disaster.texas.gov, for those watching, if you want to keep up with
that's not even
reports,
including
disaster.texas.gov.
20% tax
Before I
deduction
open up for
for
questions,
small business.
I want
I didn't even get to that.
Parents out there
I didn't even get to
who
that
are
part.
watching,
Like, if you want the 20%, if you want the
are
deduction
unsure,
as far as
because,
being a small business
they're just
owner,
unsure.
all you got to do
But the parents
is
who got
start a
calls
delivery
from
business.
Camp Mystic, where they said your daughter
And
is
don't
not accountable
do
at
the
this
delivery
point, or is not
business
accounted for at this
2-3
point.
hours a day.
I want all of you to know
Every day you
we
get off
will
work.
do everything humanly possible,
You work your delivery business
24/7,
for 3 hours.
looking at every tree, turning over every rock,
If you off,
whatever it takes.
work the delivery
If your
business for
child
8
is one of
hours.
those truly missing and not just out of touch, to find
There you
your
go.
daughter. We will do
Instead of people be trying to
everything
figure out
humanly possible to
what
find
majority
your
of these people
daughter
always
or
think negative
son.
about
And we
things.
say daughter because Camp
They
Mystic
don't want
is
to
a
take a
girls' camp.
negative
And that's where
and turn
we've
it
had,
into a positive.
that's where
Okay,
we've had
I don't like
a
Donald
number
Trump.
unaccounted for.
Okay,
20
I wanted
some
Kamala
was the
Harris
last
to
count
win.
before I came out. And
Let
again,
me
that could
figure
change
out
while
a
we were
way
sitting here.
well, me and my
Make no
family can
mistake, we will do
benefit
everything
off this bill.
possible. The 500
That's the
people that
mindset
are
we're
in the
supposed to
field
have.
are looking for
Okay.
your daughter.
I don't like Donald
Questions?
Trump,
Governor, you talk
but
about that
I can
this,
figure out a way
rate came in
that me and my
Yes.
family can
Do
benefit
you know
off this
if we
bill,
got any lead time at all?
which is the
on
ultimate
site,
goal.
And were people able to get out of there before?
That's the
race hit?
ultimate goal.
So the weather forecasts were all over the map, from a
And
few
then,
inches to
once you
possible
figure it
flooding.
out,
And
tell other people.
I had my first contact, I believe the governor left the state Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm not exactly sure, but I had a contact on Wednesday.
If they listen, they listen. If they don't, they
Potential
don't.
Heavy rain, potential
anybody
weather,
can benefit
somewhere in a very
off
large
that
area of
bill
Texas.
if you think about
And
it.
so that was the
And
first
you really put a
contact. And then
plan in place.
Yesterday, I guess it was Thursday.
Get out your feelings.
There was a 10 o'clock weather call, and that
Stop
call goes
bickering
out
and
every
complaining
day at 10 o'clock, and
about
judges and
whatever
mayors
Donald
are invited
Trump
to be on
do.
the call.
Donald Trump
10
don't
a.m.,
do.
yes, sir.
Donald Trump
And,
did this.
and so that
Donald
call
Trump
was put
talked
out,
about this.
and then just to
Donald
double
Trump
down,
did this. Donald Trump that.
again, I mentioned
Bro,
Jay Hall, the region director. He
that's
went out
just messy
personally
gossip.
and made sure
It
everyone,
don't matter.
the local officials were aware.
See, too many people be worried about
There could be
messy
flooding.
gossip instead of
and
worried about what's real.
It could have gone somewhere else. The storm could have moved
Instead of
20
worried
miles
about
somewhere else.
what's real.
But everything was done to give them a heads up.
Yeah,
that
okay.
You could have
he
heavy
did
rain.
this, he did that, he did this, that,
And we're
and the
not
third.
exactly sure where
So
it's going
what?
to land.
He's the president. What
Obviously,
can he?
as
What
it
can?
got dark last night,
What
we got into the wee morning of the hours. That's when
things
the
he
storm
put in place
started to zero go in. Another
I
question?
can come up.
clear, do you know if there will be...
Instead of looking at it, well, it's only 2 years.
I don't.
But
That would be
bro,
up to the
2 years
local
is a
officials.
long time.
I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think people are roaming around
In 2 years, you can change your whole trajectory of your family.
Yes.
In 2 years.
Can you give us a timeline on when the deployment first happened that you were describing earlier?
Well, man, don't you know that the rich
The
got all
first
these
calls
tax
we got
breaks?
into
So what?
Tina,
what?
a NIM kid who would normally be here, he's
Worry
on
about you.
site there in Kerrville.
Worry
He
about
drove
what's going on in
there
your
earlier this
household.
morning.
Worry about what's going on in your neighborhood. Worry about what's going on in your pockets.
Equipment
Worry about your
and
attitude.
people in the event it would be close to somewhere it landed. You know, they may have
Worry
to move
about how
10
you
or
gonna
15
go from
miles,
nothing into
but they already
something.
pre-positioned,
That's
not
why
knowing
nobody
if it
can't
was
have
going to
nothing,
be
bro. They're
light
too much
rain,
worried about things that don't matter.
medium rain, or heavy rain. But there were surely multiple forecasts. And
I don't care who the
this
president
morning, it's
is.
my understanding, Director,
Guess
that
what?
at 4 a.m. we started getting the first
I'm
calls.
still gonna make.
And,
I'm still
response
gonna
calls.
earn. I'm gonna spend less.
Correct. We
and
actually
I'm gonna
started
make
moving
proper
resources a couple
investment.
of days ago, and for us, it's a holiday weekend, so there are no days off for troopers,
start-
agents, and rangers, law
When
enforcement.
you start worrying
We work
about
the holidays,
mixing gossip,
but starting
you
2 days
start
ago,
trying
we
to
started
judge other
moving
people,
aircraft and strategically placing some boat teams with Parks
that's
and
when you
Wildlife
fall
in
short
coordination with
on
TDM.
what you need to be worried
And
about.
so, but the thing is, we didn't know Menard,
So what? What Donald
Kerrville,
Trump
San
do,
Antonio.
bro?
You know,
So what would Joe
we
Biden
staged
do?
them in the San Antonio area
So,
for the
so
most
what
part.
would Kamala Harris do? So what would
Well,
George
thank
Bush
you very
do?
much for
So
coming.
what
We will,
would Obama do?
We will update you as we have more
What
information.
that man
Again,
do and how he live his life and what he say, it ain't none of my
we always
concern,
say,
bro. My
in this
concern
situation,
is
thoughts
when
and
he put
prayers.
the work in,
I'm asking the people of Texas,
can
do
I
some serious
capitalize
praying this
on it?
afternoon. On your knees kind of praying.
Will it benefit me
That
and
we
my
find
family?
these young girls, and that they're
And
only
then once I see-
unaccounted for because they're somewhere that we don't know yet.
Once I see
but
that
they're
it
alive
benefits
and
me
safe,
and my
we
family,
will-
guess what I'm going to
and we will
do?
find them.
I'm going to tell other people.
If they're alive and safe, we will find them and bring them home.
I'm going
to
to
you.
tell other people.
So please pray for
But
these
guess-
families tonight
guess what?
And this afternoon. Thank you
We got
very
to
much.
come to realize these days.
Yes, sir.
You could
And
give
that was
a
said update
person
there,
all kind of
coming
game.
from the Texas
You can
officials.
lead
We
them,
let
try
you
to put them in the
know
right
that,
direction.
next
Guess what they'll
major
do?
Update is coming in less
They'll
than
still
an
talk
hour.
down
We will
on them.
feature that for you on our YouTube
But
page.
guess
on
what?
Live Now
You
from
continue
Fox.
to
Again,
try
that's
to
coming up
educate
in
and help
less
other people.
than an hour.
You steady try to get
expected
people to
at
change their way of
8:30 p.m.
thinking.
Eastern, and we will bring it to you
Best
again
day of the
on
year.
our special
Happy 4th of
YouTube
July.
page. All right,
You
let's
still get them
continue
to
on
change
right
their
now
way
here
of thinking.
on Live Now from Fox. I do want to show you the coverage from Fox 4
See,
Dallas
if
of this
that
tragic
person
situation that is
would've
happening
really
in Central
read-
Texas.
If that person would have really read the whole thing, then she would have caught the second part of the paragraph, bro. All she seen was this. That's how suppressed a lot of people's minds are, bro. That's how short somebody's attention span is. Attention span is this short. Don't have no skills to really read the whole paragraph. None at all. Just take this little bit right here and run with it. That's it. That's why, bro, can't really communicate with certain people these days, bro. They think they know it all, and then once you really let them talk, they really don't even know anything. Their attention span is this short. Now, if she would have took the time, and him, because it was two people, if they would have took the time to read the whole thing, it's called reading comprehension. They'd have understood what it said. But all they see was cash tips only. Oh, that's it. Think about it. Think about it. Even if it did say, even if it was cash tips only, even if it was cash tips only, guess what's going to happen? Everybody's going to start reporting those cash tips. To do what? Get it back on the back end. Right. Read the whole bill. All they read was a little bit. That's it. That's all they read. And come to the conclusion that cash tips only meant money. It only meant paper money. That's not true. They didn't read the whole thing. They didn't read the whole part. They didn't even read the whole paragraph. Just this part right here. That no cash on, no tax on tips meant cash only. This all they seen, Cheryl, right here. They seen this and decided not to read the rest of it. Which all they had to do, yes, I love XRP. All they had to do was read a little bit further. All they had to do was read a little bit further. That's it. While all they read was the deduction applies to cash tips only. That's all they read. Once they seen that, they did not even attempt to read the next 5 words. They didn't read the rest of it. All they read was the deduction applies to cash tips only. And then what's so cool about it, I wasn't even talking about cash tips. I was talking about overtime hours. Because that was the first question that I asked. Ask this, since you've been commenting in the comment section, you said that that's not going, that bill is not going to affect nobody. Okay. The first question I asked, what about tax on overtime? What about that? They flipped it to cash on tips. I wasn't even talking about tips. The second question, do you have any kids? Never answered that. If you got kids, the child tax credit increased. Come on, bro. Just because you don't like Donald Trump, you still benefit. You can find a benefit in that bill. Every person can. That lets you know, bro. It's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in America that really. Donald Trump said this. They're gonna hate him regardless. You know, there's just people just gonna hate him regardless, which is crazy. Which is crazy to me. They don't even know the man personally, but hate him. How can you hate somebody that you don't even know? That's the big question. How could you hate somebody that you don't know? How can you talk about somebody's character? Well, let's talk about the character of Donald Trump. Donald Trump do this. Donald Trump do that. Donald Trump did this. You don't even know him. How can you hate somebody that you don't know? Like, come on, bro. Just because you emotions, you know, for whatever reason. Just because that's what I don't know what I don't know. I don't know. I don't hate Obama. I don't hate Bush. I don't hate Joe Biden. I don't hate Donald Trump. I don't hate Clinton. I don't hate Hillary Clinton. I don't even know these people, bro. What up, Tim? I don't even know the people. Well, Donald Trump did this. Donald Trump did that. Golly. What you did? What you did? Talk about your flaws. Everybody, ain't nobody perfect, bro. Everybody got flaws. Ain't nobody perfect. The thing is you trying to make yourself better. Is you trying to put yourself in a better position. Right. Maria. They need to get out their feelings, bro. And in my opinion, if the Democrats keep with that same way of doing it, it'll be a long time before we see another Democratic president, bro. I said, if they keep acting like that, it's gonna be a long time before a Democratic president get back in office. It is. If this bill, if everything that, if this bill works out, right? If the things in this bill works out the way they say they think it is, the Democrats are done. I said it. They done. They done. They done. Because Donald Trump say that, yes, the debt was increased, but he say that it's going to be so much business coming in that it's going to work itself out. That they got so much going on the back end that the money and the wealth that's going to be generated over the years is going to make all that go away, then some. That's what they say. So if he right, if Donald Trump is right, and the people he got in place is right, guess what? The Democrats will be out of there, bro. Oh, look at that. Look at all that. Look at that, guys. Look at all that water. Jeffrey, legal Latinos for Trump. So in my opinion, a lot of them didn't want that bill to pass, bro. A lot of them didn't want that bill to pass. A lot of them didn't want that. Which, I mean, it ain't gonna be 100%, right? Everybody's not gonna agree on it 100%. So what you gotta do is you gotta find something that's in it that you rock with. Maria, that's why the Democrats will spin things so negatively about the BBB for midterm. Yeah. That's why I think what I did, I fell right into the trap. I shouldn't even went back and forth with them people earlier. I should have just let them rock and roll. I fell right into the trap. But I try to talk to them and try to wake them up. I try to talk to them. That's what I tried to do. That's what I tried to do. And it didn't work. But it just lets me know how people will be in their feelings before really trying to pay attention what's in the great interest of what they got going on. Because, bro, that no tax on overtime and everything that he got, everybody that got a job, benefits. Well, if you don't work overtime, all you got to do is say, well, shoot, I'm going to go find me something that do got overtime. If you don't want to work overtime, you know that the child tax credit is going to increase. Either way it goes, there's no way around it. If you got a job and you work, you're going to benefit somewhere from that bill. Guess what they're going to say? Well, it's only 2 years. Bro, 2 years is, you know what you can accomplish if you earn in 2 years. If you make an earn, you spend less. You invest in the stock market, in certain companies in this stock market. You will be way ahead of the game if it's only 2 years. You'll see an increase in your check soon. Right. Guess what's going to happen? Well, it's only going to be 2 years. Bro, you need to milk out these 2 years the best way you can. You make your earn. You spend less. You make proper investments. The stock market is at all-time highs right now. It's at all-time highs. Look at this. Look at that. Look at this. The S&P 500 is at all-time highs. Come on now. Look at that. Bitcoin. Look at that. Come on, man. See, people be worried about the wrong thing, bro. That's why I be thinking. That's why I be thinking. That's why I be thinking that a lot of them people really ain't got jobs, bro. That's what I think. A lot of them people ain't working.
4th of July parade.
A lot of them people.
How special there from Oklahoma City.
A lot of those people, it gotta be there. A lot of those people are on welfare.
His family.
They on Medicaid. They on housing.
Fireworks are ready. Yeah, that's what we love to see. Summerdale. Great to see you.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks for watching.
They do have a job. They don't have a 401k.
That photo. Another family here in
you know what I'm saying?
Sacramento.
It gotta be, that's what it is, bro.
Some nice memories.
Majority of those people,
right now,
because I know a lot of people.
Always remember.
I know people that are.
Yeah, this is the way to cool off.
That can't go to work.
Showing this,
but they get housed.
Red, white,
they get food stamps.
Popsicles.
But they can go to work.
That's the way to cool down. Right there.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, keep your food stamps and your Medicaid. But if you got a job, I know people that.
And all you have to
I've known this in real. I've witnessed this in real life.
You're watching from, and you could be.
People get housed
for this 4th of July.
Get a job.
Spectacular that we are.
As soon as they find out that they're going to pay rent on their housing, they quit the job.
4th of July.
Do anybody in the chat know somebody like that?
Eastern, the coverage in
Has anybody in the chat
will be taking you from
met somebody like
the
that?
Country, getting you ready for the big celebrations.
Been on housing forever.
The DC one happening about
and won't get a job
Eastern. We'll
because they're scared that their rent gonna go up.
Fox. So let's take a
Put
look
a one in the chat.
Some
if you
Dallas
witnessed
area
that.
Residents are celebrating.
If you've been around anybody like that,
back to more celebrations.
All right. That won't work
coverage there from Fox 4
because
Dallas.
they don't want their rent. They don't want their rent to go up
right now for a little bit. To some of the celebrations out in Florida, a nice parade going on there earlier today. Let's listen in.
I know me. I know a lot of people I know I got family members, bro, that still on housing, and their kids are grown. Don't want to get a job. And if they do get a job, they get a couple of checks and quit. Because they know that the apartment, the housing gonna find out that they working now and they don't want their rent to go up to normal rental rate. So they'll quit the job. And then meanwhile, when tax season comes, they'll make up. Meanwhile, when it's time for tax season, they'll make up like their independent contractor business and carry their kids, so they'll get a check, an income tax check, income tax loophole. Talk or add? I don't know what you're talking about, Tim. Talk or add? I don't know what you're talking about. All right, happy 4th of July. Hard to hear you. Oh, I should have put it on mute. Oh my God.
And you are watching live now from Fox. This is our 4th of July coverage. And soon you will see some fireworks from across the country. We're just showcasing a beautiful parade out.
I'm gonna take a little restroom break, guys. I'll be right back.
Tampa. Hi, everyone. Mike Page here, and happy 4th of July to you. Thanks so much for being with us. So you might be with family and friends, might have had just a great time being at some parades, having some barbecue, grilling out, and getting ready for the fireworks. And you came to the right place, because we will take you coast to coast later today in about an hour, showcasing some of the country's greatest fireworks show. The great thing is you don't have to go anywhere. You can park it right at your couch and stay at home and just relax and be with family and friends. And we'd love to see some of your pictures. So we've been getting some great ones in from all over the country. We want to know how you are celebrating the July 4th holiday. You could scan that QR code and share it with us. We've been getting some great ones already, and we want to see them and we want to share them. So thanks again for being with us here on our very special coverage. Soon we will be seeing the fireworks take off, and look at this great one. We got the Guzzo family watching from Miami. God bless America and the men and women who serve to keep us safe. Thank you so much for that beautiful picture. Look at Daisy from Mason, staying out of the sun and waiting for the fireworks. That's the way to do it there. Nice and cool and relaxing. Very nice there. Happy 4th. Alex, this is from New Bern, North Carolina. Can't celebrate without a cake. And that, my friend, looks very, very inviting. Way to go on that. That looks great. That's a Pinterest type of picture right there. No doubt about it. And we want to continue to see them. Look at this, Sally. 4th of July color in the lights. Yeah, you're doing it right with the red, white, and blue, all decked out, and our beautiful American flag as well. That is great. So be like Sally and the others, everyone. You can scan that QR code top right. Love to see more of your photos, and then you might be on TV, and you can just sit back and relax, everyone, because we've got you covered this evening when it comes to the July 4th spectaculars from all over the country. This is a great shot in D.C. as they are preparing for a magnificent show. And in just a little bit, President Trump and the First Lady will be watching as well. But take a look at, we saw them earlier today as well. This was a great shot of the President and First Lady coming down the steps there. But look what everyone has been talking about, especially on social media, is this. The flyover with the B-2 and fighter jets soaring high above over the White House there. What a shot that was from earlier there. So always great to see. And yeah, we love to see all of the different shots from around the country and around the world here as well. All right, we want to continue to really showcase not only what's happening a little bit later, but also what's happening now as well. So in just a little bit, we are going to go out to some of our friends over Fox 11 in Los Angeles, and they will be just giving us a great point of view from all of their festivities that they have going on. So let's go out to Fox 11 for a little bit of their coverage and how people are celebrating out in the Los Angeles area tonight.
Protest on this 4th of July. Thousands of demonstrators flooding the streets across Los Angeles, protesting what they see as a lack of independence.
While others are celebrating in more traditional manners. Let's go live to Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez in Alhambra. Christina, what's happening?
At Amazon Park, and this is the battle for the shade is what's going on here. People are just beginning to arrive. Fireworks are not till 9 o'clock tonight, so people are here just beginning to stake out their spot. As you said, this is one of the not postponed 4th of July celebrations. Others decided not so much to celebrate independence as to protest what they see as lack of it. Listen.
No more occupation!
A large rally making its way through downtown L.A., where marchers took advantage of empty streets since 4th of July celebrations here were postponed.
It wasn't as big as the No Kings protest that we were a part of a couple of weeks ago. No one is taking what is happening to our country seriously enough.
This march, part of the 50501 movement, Free America Weekend of Community Actions. Skyfox, you can see the crowd facing off with uniformed personnel outside the federal building.
Peaceful! Stand behind the yellow line!
On the ground, monitors, keeping the crowd sane and safe, and quite colorful during the day. In Los Feliz, it was the Free America Weekend rally organized by Women's March.
We are protesting the inhumanity and the cruelty of this government and what they're doing to our community.
A much smaller group outside the Joint Forces training base in Los Alamitos, the Lavender Democrats protesting the deployment of National Guard troops to help federal forces. All daytime events peaceful with all kinds of people saying 4th of July is as good a day as any to put out their message.
This can't be America. This is not the new normal.
The point of my shirt is that we are all immigrants, no matter where we live.
And And back here live, you know, you're going to have to come back to us at 5:30. I want to see who is in that setup. Talk about staking out that looks like a petting zoo over there of people. So I'm going to go find out what they're all about. And we're going to talk to some of these people, see how they're celebrating. Obviously, they're here, but their feelings about it. So we'll get to meet some people, see who they are. 5:30. See you back here. Happy 4th of July. I'm Christina Gonzalez in Alhambra. Back to you.
So what's the party like there? Do they have music, or what's going on in Alhambra tonight?
Oh, yeah. You might be able to hear. They have a Katy Perry band.
Tribute band?
You know, a cover band. They actually were practicing. Yeah, Katy Perry cover band. And they also, I mean, what was the name? Oh, God, I was looking there. I mean, they have fireworks. Dance Evolution and the Katy Perry cover band. You can hear they're getting ready for later.
Well, of course,
they also have fireworks. And over there... I'm going to check out the food. Of course, I am going to go out there because there isn't a line. It's calling my Cuban name to go see what is out there for food. So, yeah, you know what? This is the best behaved, nicest bunch of people. You know, I want to see how they're going to party.
Christina, it looks like
we're going to get some entertainment here.
Looks like a smaller crowd out there at this hour, but looks like also a beautiful day. The weather looks great.
Oh, it's beautiful. And they tell me they expect 8,000 people here. 8,000 is 10% of the population of Alhambra. But they tell me that's what packs here. So if you are nearby in one of those places where they actually postponed ceremonies, come on in. It's open. No charge. Just stake out a place and the shade is going away, but the sun's going down. Come say hi.
All right, Christina, we'll see you at 5:30. Of course, Katy Perry's most famous song is Fireworks. So good to have that happening tonight.
All right, that was a little bit there of Fox 11's coverage out in Los Angeles, though. Let's keep on going with some more live feeds from some of our great TV stations across the country. Let's go out to Phoenix, Arizona. Fox 10 Phoenix providing some 4th of July festivities as well. Let's listen in.
Time. It'll absolutely give you chills and an incredible experience all around. Happy 4th of July. Reporting live here in Mesa, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
Yeah, Lauren, we were talking about this during the break, that I would venture to guess that the 100 people today know more about this country than a lot of our citizens born here.
Yeah, they do have to take that test in order to officially become a citizen. A lot of people said, you know, they were very, very grateful to get the opportunity to take that test and just learn a lot about our country.
Pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. I always like the other side of the chafing dish.
Yeah, me too. That's where I like to work. All right, so we got our burger, and we've got a vegetarian burger right here.
Very good.
There you go.
And it's not just what we're seeing here. You've got desserts all over the place.
Yes.
You've got watermelon. I mean, it's about as all-American 4th of July as it gets.
That's
Am I right?
So pretty sequence, right? So you come down the line, you get salads, hot proteins. And then come on over here, guys.
Come on over.
Actually, you want to go to the condiment station?
Oh, sure we do.
To put all the fixins on. So we got all the fixins. All right, guys, here we go.
Are we going with heavy onions, Jacob?
Yeah,
no. Smart.
No
they stick with them, don't they? Yeah, I know. I'm the same way.
Lettuce, onions, tomatoes, cheese, pickles. So you guys can make this all up.
Very good.
And
well,
then
we'll leave you here, and we're going to head over this way because there's a ton to see.
Yeah, then back over here. So now, once they've got their hamburger and that, they come over here. We've got apple cobbler.
Oh, really?
Fresh sliced watermelon. Yeah, look at this. Apple cobbler.
Oh,
look at that.
I don't mind saying I would enjoy an apple cobbler right now.
Some of that right there.
Now, thank you so much. Now, let's talk recipes. Where does your apple cobbler recipe come from?
You know,
you've been in the food business your whole life.
That's right. And, you know, since I've been at M Culinary for 30 years, we've had the same pastry chef, Chef Kurt Carafa. And this is his recipe. He's been doing this for 30 years. So, to be honest with you,
I love the long timers.
Yeah, you don't want me in the pastry shop. I'm a hot chef. I'm a savory guy. Yeah.
You know, there's some talk of that on the internet.
I have to measure. I do all that, right?
Well, let's come down this way.
And then you pick up a drink right here. And then we have our cupcakes, which is going to open at 7:30.
Oh, let's get another look at those cupcakes. They are pretty spectacular. I've never seen this many cupcakes lined up in one pattern.
Well, this pattern right here is 1,600 cupcakes. And I've got another 1,000 on the truck. And at 7:30, people will line up, and they'll take plates of them, and
I love it.
We keep filling it until the night's over.
Wow. And so you'll be serving dinner, so to speak, until when?
Until the fireworks, about 8:30, 8:45. Then people start meandering out, and at 9 o'clock, 9:05, whatever that time is, the fireworks start. So,
people should know that you serve the finest and you serve the biggest events. If you go to the WM Phoenix Open, there you are.
There you are.
I don't know how many meals you put out
45,000 a day, 6 days in a row.
Well, you're practically with your eyes closed.
Yeah, right.
Take one spin around and you can just see how enormous this place is.
Yeah.
Come on out and see us. You can walk right up. Still time to get out. That's right. Hang loose, buddy. And anyway, we've got fireworks and so forth coming throughout the night. We've got a rodeo. We've got, as I said, the slider eating championship. We have a pretender to the Joey Chestnut throne.
Yes.
Also, we have the International Water Balloon Tossing Championship, too. And I'm having an apple cobbler.
Man.
I mean, what a rough deal.
Brisket, cobbler.
That says it all.
I know.
That was made yesterday. We made 100 2-inch pans. So that's 200 serving. That's so many servings.
I don't know why my co-anchors persist in this news business when they could be out here with us.
Exactly. I know. We're having a good time. My favorite thing is grab a dog and go watch the rodeo.
Oh, my gosh.
Then come back and do it again.
I know. We'll be out there. You guys stay there. See you soon.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
That is great to see right there. Corey McCloskey, one of the funniest weathermen in the business, no doubt about that. We could just have a camera on Corey and the chef there, and that'd be a show right there, no doubt about it. All right, everyone, we'll take a 2-minute break on Live Now from Fox. We'll be back with much more in just moments on this 4th of July Spectacular. Us right now, Live Down from Fox, we appreciate it, but look at the kit that he has. This is going to be a show out in Oregon, courtesy of Harlan. He's ready for it. Fireworks show, no doubt. Thanks so much again for sharing. And here we go. Kathy, College Station. Have a blessed Independence Day. Great family. Thanks so much for watching. Happy 4th of July to you. Again, if you want to continue to share those photos, it's so easy. Just scan that QR code at top right. We'd love to see more of them. It's great to see so many people watching, taking part with their families, and it is going to be something to see once everything is dazzling up in the sky, no doubt about it. So we want to continue our coverage here on Live Now from Fox in just 2 minutes. We'll be back with more coverage from all over the country on Live Now.
Celebrate the 249th anniversary of our nation's founding.
So today, 4th of July, Independence Day, the birthday of our nation, is about recommitting ourselves to protecting our democracy, to sticking up for our neighbors who are under assault, whether immigrants or LGBTQ people.
Across town in Fisherman's Wharf, crowds began staking out their space for the night's fireworks show. Visitors and locals agree it's one of a kind.
It is absolutely gorgeous. It's out on the water, so the fireworks are being blown up out of the water, but when you sit on the beach, it feels like they're falling down on top of you.
Businesses say the holiday has brought out the crowds, and the Argonaut Hotel said there was still a chance to rent a room looking out over the show.
If you book quick, we have just a handful of rooms left, but love to welcome all our visitors to Fisherman's Wharf, and got the fireworks right outside. Can't beat that.
Now, a few things to note for folks coming out tonight. The grassy field here at Aquatic Park, which is usually prime seating, is actually fenced off. You can see there while they work to refurbish the area. That may make finding space a little bit more difficult. And so far, as you heard from Roberta, we've seen clear skies, but I don't know if you can tell, it is pretty windy out here, which is, as Roberta was saying, good news, because it will keep blowing that fog and that cloud cover out of the area. So hopefully it means that folks are going to get a great show tonight. We're live in San Francisco. Christian Kaftan, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Yes, our fingers are crossed back here in the studio for a spectacular fireworks show. Christian, thank you for that live report. Meanwhile, celebrations began early for many others in parts of the Bay Area. In Danville, the community came out this morning for the city's 50th annual 4th of July parade. Fire trucks, past and present, rolled along Harts Avenue. More than 100 groups took part in this parade, including marching bands. Thousands of people lined the route, taking in all the patriotic sights and sounds, including veterans riding in vintage military Jeeps. And on the peninsula, this is how Redwood City showed off its patriotic spirit. Its annual parade kicked off at 10 a.m. with hundreds of people turning out. You can see there's some elected officials riding in vintage convertibles. And there was an appearance by Miss California 2025, Rachel Axe of Clovis. Tonight, people will gather at the Port of Redwood City for a concert and drone light show at 7 p.m. And in Fremont, Ardenwood Historic Farm celebrated Independence Day with a turn-of-the-century flair. Lots of people were enjoying the sound of an authentic fife and drum corps. There were tours of the Patterson House, where the former owners, George and Clara Patterson, had their farm in the early 1900s. Guests also enjoyed rides on the historic train, and of course, they also dug into some good old-fashioned barbecue. If you're still looking for ways to celebrate the 4th night, we do have a list of events around the Bay Area on our website. You can just head over to KTVU.com.
And so many great events happening all over the country. We love to feature them and really showcase them as much as we can. All right, live look right now in Washington, D.C. as they are gearing up for the big D.C. Fireworks Spectacular. We will continue to wait for that and again bring you so many different images from across the country on this July 4th holiday. We will be back with much more in just moments on Live Now.
We're at a record, and I will say that I just left NATO, where we had a tremendous experience. They've agreed to put up over $1 trillion a year. They went from less than 2% to 5%, and nobody thought that was possible. And they told me very strongly, the leaders of a big part of the world, very respected people all, they told me that, 1 year ago, your country was dead, and now you have the hottest country anywhere in the world. So that's the way it is, and that's the way we like it. And it's only going to get hotter. I promise you that. After that spectacular display of American power, let me just say that God bless the United States military, and God bless the USA. God bless the USA. And to all Americans, I want to wish you a very happy Independence Day, happy 4th of July. This is going to be something special. There's spirit in this country. We haven't seen anything like it in many, many years and decades. Let me also express our gratitude to our magnificent First Lady. She worked very hard to make this all work. And we have a fireworks display about 9 o'clock tonight. I hope you're all going to be around and watch it. I know our congressmen and our senators who are standing right here, so many of them, they did such a great job. They're going to be here. I guarantee you, they're not leaving. They're not leaving. Thanks as well to the National Park Service, the USO, and countless friends and distinguished guests. We have so many people in the audience that have so much to do with the success of our country. We've, I think, had probably the most successful almost 6 months as a president and the presidency. I think they're saying it was the best 6 months, and I know for a fact they're saying the last 2 weeks there has never been anything like it as far as winning. So as you know, 2 weeks ago, our incredible Air Force pilots conducted one of the most successful military strikes in all of history, Operation Midnight Hammer. And these heroic pilots showed our enemies what it means to fly, fight, and win. To every service member who supported that mission, and we have many of them here, we've made we've made you proud by supporting, but you've made us even prouder by having the courage to get in those gorgeous machines and fly through the roughest airspace anywhere in the world. And we salute you, and we honor you. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you. And we're also honored and delighted to be joined by hundreds of service members and military families. Those families are the best we have, from all across the U.S. Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. I love the Space Force. You know why? Because we're the ones that did it. It's turned out to be a very invaluable force, actually. The Coast Guard and the Marines are incredible people. On behalf of our entire nation, this 4th of July, we thank you for keeping America safe, strong, sovereign, and free. Thank you very much for being here. Great honor. And stick around for the fireworks. And our country's had so much to celebrate this Independence Day. As we enter our 249th year, America is winning, winning, winning like never before. We're not, I'll tell you, we're in a category now that's where we've wanted to be for a long time. We suffered with 4 horrible years of embarrassment. Afghanistan may be the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. We're never going to let a thing like that happen again. Trillions of dollars are pouring into the United States for investment purposes. Almost $15 trillion. There's never been anything like it. There's never been anything even close. The stock market's at an all-time high. Jobs are at an all-time high. Everything's at an all-time high. And we're going to keep it that way. We have the greatest country in the world, and we're back. We're back like nobody thought possible this quickly. I thought it would take maybe a year, maybe 2 years, maybe even 3. And we did it in less than 6 months. So we are back and strong. We've restored American strength and deterrence on the world stage. We're respected again. The world is respecting us again. When we did NATO, those leaders came up to me and they said, you know what, we're going to go to a new level of spending because you're requesting it, sir. They didn't talk to you last president like that, I can tell you. They didn't spend any money. They didn't spend anything. In a few moments, we're going to make official the greatest victory yet when I signed the one big, beautiful bill. And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen promises, and it's really promises made, promises kept, and we've kept them. This is a triumph of democracy on the birthday of democracy, and I have to say that the people are happy. They're happy. And I listened to a broadcast, and I read a couple of articles. They have the Democrats, they should have voted for it. They didn't vote for tax cuts. They didn't vote for taking care of people. They didn't vote, not one vote. And we knew that because their hatred of either the country or me or both is so great. They didn't vote at all, and it's terrible. But I just have to say, they have a routine. It's terrible, they say. Terrible, terrible. You saw that guy standing up for hours yesterday. He didn't know what he was even doing there. I say, when's he sitting down? He had a towel. He's wiping his face. That's not too elegant. But what is he? I said, what is he doing for so long? And he couldn't criticize the bill. He was criticizing everyone else and everything else. So they've developed, and this is according to the news media, they've developed a standard line, and we can't let them get away with it. Oh, it's dangerous. Oh, everybody's going to die. It's actually just the opposite. Everybody's going to live. This is just the opposite. And I just want you to know, if you see anything negative put out by Democrats, it's all a con job. And they said, and they compared it to just like the con job of Russia, 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 and all of the other things they did. The 51 intelligence agents said, and the laptop from hell, it came from Russia, they said. No, it didn't come. A lot of things come from Russia. That didn't come from Russia. And it was all proven out to be a fake job, and that's what they're doing with this. So we just have to look forward, fellas, look forward and just say what it is, because it's the most popular bill ever signed in the history of our country. Whether you're military or anybody else, this is the single most popular bill ever signed. And it includes the largest tax cut in American history, the largest spending cut, $1.7 trillion. And yet you won't even notice. It just waste, fraud, and abuse in American history. So you have the biggest tax cut, the biggest spending cut, the largest border security and military, including building a great golden dome all over our land so that if they get nasty with us, it's going to be knocked down. It's going to make any of the golden domes, they call them the iron domes, we're calling ours the golden dome, because we did the iron domes, and we do sort of everything, if you want to know the truth, but this blows it away. We're going to keep you safe. I want to thank every member of the House and Senate who worked to get this bill on my desk, and many of them are here, and I'm not going to mention all their names because we'll be standing here, but I have to mention a few, and especially I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance, who's been fantastic. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who's been incredible. We have somebody that is, it was a passion. I think he actually loved it. It wasn't easy, but he loved it. Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, who's right here. Speaker, thank you very much. What a job, and he worked so closely with the Senate Majority Leader, John Thune, who's a fantastic guy. And those two are a team that is not going to be beat. When you look at them and you look at their counterparts on the other side, it's not even close. I want to thank both of you people for doing an incredible job. Thank you very much, John and Mike. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, a brave man. Steve, you know, he suffered a tragedy a number of years ago. I was at his hospital bedside that night with Melania, with our First Lady, and he had no chance. The doctor said he has very little chance, and you look better today than you did then. He didn't look particularly good that night, I will say. But I learned one thing, his beautiful wife loved him. She was a disaster, right? I told him, I said, Steve, I can only tell you one thing. I was with your family and I was with your wife, and your wife was devastated. She loves you. I've seen a lot of wives that, you know, they don't seem to be so concerned in those situations. That's the kind of wife you don't want. But you have a great, beautiful wife who was really there, and you really have done. You're a very brave guy, and Mike and John and everybody that's standing with you knows it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. House Majority Whip, this is a guy who's great. When I have a problem, I call him up, and he gets it done. He's a tough cookie. I don't know why he's not the governor of Minnesota. He comes from Minnesota. He's like, oh, look, he goes, no, I don't want to run for governor. You know, come to think of it, I think that's a good idea. You would win so easily. The guy is terrible. You would win. You just have to made in China. You know, I noticed something, that with all of the windmills that China sends us, where we waste our money because it's the most expensive energy, I see that, you know, they make about 95% of them, the wind turbines. I have never seen a wind farm in China. Why is that? Somebody check that out. Tom Emmer, would you please check that out? But all the coal miners we love and the truck drivers, in this act, we have officially made the Trump tax cuts permanent. That's the largest tax cut in the history of our country, added to substantial other cuts, which is you're going to see like a rocket ship. You know, we're setting all sorts of economic records right now, and that's before this kicks in. After this kicks in, our country is going to be a rocket ship economically, and we've delivered no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security for our great seniors. And that's why when you hear things like that, this is the most it's the biggest bill of its kind ever done by far. But we are going to have a situation, we are going to have something where people are going to realize the level of success and popularity of this bill. And sort of to close it out, it makes the child tax credit permanent for 40 million American families. And to increase the car affordability, it makes interest on a new car payment. So this had never happened before. You buy a car, you borrow money, you're allowed to deduct for income tax purposes your payment of interest. You're allowed to deduct it. It's never happened before. So run out and buy a car. But I have to tell you, it's only good, Mike, if it's made in America. If it's made in another country, you don't get it. And to protect 2 million family farms and other small businesses, we're eliminating the estate tax or the death tax. So if you want to leave your farm or your small business, but the farms are really, they have been devastated, to your children, if you love your children. By the way, if you don't love your children, don't even listen to what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. But if you love, would you live? Yes, I think you love your child. This one loves Barron. So I don't know if we're a small business. I think we're not. I'm not sure that we qualify. I'm sorry, darling. But, you know, it was devastating. Farmers, they had to go out and borrow money. And by the way, is that Pam Bondi? Pam Bondi, raise your hand. Thank you, Pam, for being here. Attorney General, she's done an incredible job. So there won't be any, think of this, there won't be any death tax. You're not going to have to go borrow money. Your parents pass away and the farm goes into the bank's hands and gets foreclosed. That's not going to happen. And with 100% expensing for new investments, We're cutting taxes for every manufacturer who builds, expands, and we have expansion at the highest level that we've ever had it. We have hundreds of factories, including car plants and AI. It's coming into our country at levels that we've never seen. And to conclude, not only will we have the strongest economy on earth, we're also going to have the strongest borders on earth. And last month, did you see the number? 0 people crossed our border. 0 illegal people. And that's after Joe Biden let 21 million people, many of them people from gangs and prisons and drug lords and people that were mentally unbalanced. They let them into our country. We're getting them out at record numbers, and we have an obligation to, and we're doing it. So as we approach the 250th anniversary of America's founding exactly 1 year from now, we are creating an economy that delivers wealth for the middle class, a border that is sovereign and secure, and a military that is unmatched, unequaled anywhere in the world. And you saw that. And what a beautiful sight that was, especially after watching what they did just a short while ago. The golden age of America is upon us. We are in the golden age. It's going to be a period of time, the likes of which I don't think this country has ever experienced before. We're going to make America great again, and it's happening very fast. We love you. We thank you for being here. Enjoy the fireworks tonight. And First Lady, I want to thank you. You have been unbelievable. You think it's easy being First Lady? It's not. Thank you all very much. Happy 4th of July. God bless you all. Thank you very much, everybody.
Those were the remarks by President Trump at the White House, and soon there will be a celebration going on in D.C. We'll take you there live when it does happen. President Trump and the First Lady will be watching, but we do want to go out. We already have some fireworks coverage happening, so you know we are taking you there right now. Let's go out live to Tampa, Florida. Some of the fireworks spectaculars are happening right now. Take a look there at that 4th of July celebration out in Tampa. Crowd was pumped for it. And a little bit later, we'll check back in with Florida as their festivities are continuing. We're looking next at St. Petersburg as well. Hi, everyone. Mike Pace here. Thanks so much for joining us. 4th of July spectacular from across the country. We will be featuring fireworks that are happening coast to coast. Live look right now in D.C. as the cameras are set to the sky. We are awaiting some big show happening in our nation's capital. That will be happening in just a little bit. We are also keeping an eye, beautiful New York City. They had a beautiful day today out there in New York, and that's setting up for a great night. Look at the skyline as we are getting ready for the New York City fireworks show. That one is going to be special there. So again, thanks so much for joining us on this 4th of July holiday. You could have been anywhere, or you could have been watching any program, but you chose to be here with us on Live Now from Fox, and we say, hey, that's the smart decision right there, because you get to relax from your home, and we get to showcase not only just one event for you, but we'll take you really coast to coast as the fireworks shows continue, and you get to really pick which one was your favorite. Let us know as well. But now we want to go back out to Florida. Let's go out to St. Petersburg, where the show has just started. You're watching Live Now from Fox. Let's keep it going.
Well, that's it, guys. I'm ending it right there. Hope y'all enjoyed the rest of y'all night. Had a great night kicking it with y'all. Did a lot of talking. Chilled out at the end. We had a great night, great time, great discussion. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Till tomorrow, the one and only Stock Sniper. Earn, spend less, make proper investments. Y'all have a great night. I love and I appreciate y'all. I'm out.